Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
What if your bank had people who care about the places we call home?
That's what Union Bank does. We encourage this culture of giving back.
I really enjoy working with People City Mission.
The United Way campaign.
Habitat for Humanity, Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Everyone's in to help make that community stronger.
To be part of all of this that's going on is pretty remarkable.
At UBT, your money has people with a passion for serving. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 with signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Your friends with Krivda and Son Masonry in Lincoln would like to take this time to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Krivda and Son Masonry in Lincoln. Stay united and keep America safe and strong.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Oerman. Hour 1 of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. It is Old School live from Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68 and O for Customer Appreciation Day. 50-cent boneless and traditional wings all day long. Also got a raffle going for a couple of signed Husker jerseys and 5 free wings for a week for a year. No purchase necessary. All you got to do is stop by, sign up, and have a good time with us down here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Austin Oerman here to my right, your left if you're watching on stream. It is Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Jay, happy Friday to you. How's it going?
What's happening?
Oh, more of the same. I think the LaMelo Ball trade still rings loudly. We'll get through that. More NBA rumors we'll get to in hour 2. But, of course, we are in the middle of summer, so we're looking for content. And The Athletic continued its retrospective on the 1990s in college football with their top 25 players of the decade.
Oh, that's easy. Jay Foreman, number 1.
Wouldn't you rather be number 2 because it's an even number, or is number 1 okay?
Number
that's
one's
the only.
okay.
That's the only.
One's okay. Then if you can get the first parking spot or something like that, a number 1 on that list, you are good. But
If you had to guess, how many Huskers did they put in that top 25
in the 90s?
In the 90s.
4.
Half that number.
Dang, really?
2.
Who?
2
T. Frazier,
Huskers. We will get to that here because it's quite the list of 25 names.
These lists are kind of suspect.
At best.
At best.
At best. Eric says, my man, the true black shirt, Jay Foreman. Hope you have a great weekend. I'm grilling up some steak tonight.
Good. Just save me one, man. I like my medium.
You don't have to grill tonight. You're here at Wings and Rings. They got you hooked up.
I'm going to have both. I'm going to double dip.
That's the spirit. All right. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Let's just dive right into it, Jay. Top 25 players from the Athletic. They have a tie at number 25, so they do 26. A couple of offensive linemen, Jonathan Ogden and Aaron Taylor.
I like that. I mean, Jonathan Ogden was the best that probably came through in the 90s. I guess you're going to have him at 25. I can see why you only have 4 Nebraska players if your grading skill has the dude that was literally like the eclipse at left tackle.
Yeah.
Literally was that dude.
Swallowed up the sun.
Man. Yeah, he was dominant in college, dominant in the pros.
Aaron Taylor also not bad. Number 24, LeVar Arrington.
Oof, I thought he would be higher.
Okay.
Consider, with the LeVar leap and the hype around him. I mean, he was I wouldn't say the first big linebacker, but I think he was the first big linebacker with freakish athletic ability, and he obviously played at Penn State, which has been linebacker U.
It sure has been. Bednarik Award winner, Butkus Award winner, 9th in the Heisman voting as a junior after being the first sophomore to be named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. Then we get to our first Husker, Will Shields.
Yeah, and I can see, for sure. I mean, there's so many great Nebraska linemen in the 90s, whether it's Will Shields, obviously, I think was the first, because he came in and I think he started as a freshman or eventually started as a freshman. Obviously, a Hall of Famer himself. He paved the way. Then you think about Zach Weger. You think about everybody on the pipeline, Aaron Taylor. I mean, Will Shields is the godfather. I would think a few of his partners would be on there as well.
Number 22, Pat Fitzgerald, head coach at Northwestern for a long time, now at Michigan State. And then
he was all right.
And then your boy.
Pat Fitzgerald was all right.
Pat Fitzgerald.
He was slow as like honey.
How much of that is due to Northwestern actually being successful while he was there?
Yeah.
Team legacy boost.
And he was a good player. He was good. No, I ain't taking that away from him.
Back-to-back Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time consensus All-American, but could not beat Jay Foreman in the foot race, which is what really matters.
He would have been a backup here. But he cold-blooded. He almost went to Northwestern because of him, because they got new uniforms. Those black uniforms were kind of cold.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Then the academics weren't academic.
Here's number 21. I'll just let you read this next name here, Jay.
Eddie George?
Eddie George.
Yeah. I thought he would be higher, man.
Fakest Heisman winner of all time. Bumps him down the list.
He did not deserve the Heisman, but he got it. You know what? Really, to be honest with you, I felt like Tommy Frazier was the best player, and obviously he should have won it. Eddie George won it, so I guess you can't go wrong with Eddie. Eddie was a great player, man. Tough competitor, too.
Number 20, Donovan McNabb out of Syracuse.
Yeah, I can see that.
Would you take Donovan McNabb over Eddie George to start a college football team with?
I'd take Eddie George, especially in college.
Yeah, college Eddie George,
sure. I'd take Eddie George, period.
Number 19, Tony Baselli. And number 18, a guy you mentioned yesterday, Steve Empman.
Yeah, I like both of those. You know what's crazy about with Tony Baselli? I didn't know much about him because USC wasn't very good back. They weren't down, you know what I mean? But he was dominant. He was a great player. Injuries hurt him in the pros.
Number 17, Warren Sapp in Miami. Nebraska gassed him, but went on to a great pro career, obviously.
Oh, he was a Hall of Famer, dude. He was unstoppable.
What's the conversation about Warren Sapp down in Miami at that time and today? How does Miami view Warren Sapp?
Well, he's the standard of defensive lineman. You know, when you play when on one defense you had Kenny Holmes, Warren Sapp, Earl Little, Ray Lewis, Kennard Lang, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. The other, I think his name was Karan Riley. He got drafted in the second, third round. Sometimes, like, I think for Warren Sapp, how great he was and how dominant he was, sometimes I think, like, he gets overlooked at Miami. Like, the dude was, like, I saw it on tape. because we're trying to portray those two.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and you know what the great thing about Warren Sapp, he got better I think he was dominant in college, better in the pros,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp probably the better combined career, but how close are Warren Sapp and Ndamukong Suh in college versus full-time resume?
Well, I think Warren's pro career was better.
Yeah. Accolades, stats, numbers, all that.
Yeah, probably college about the same. I think if Miami had, and you know what's funny is that Miami was at the point what I talked about with Nebraska was everybody was tired of them, and obviously, them celebrating and everything like that. Everybody was looking for Miami not to win. If Warren Sapp had the hype machine like Ndamukong Suh, it'd be about the same. Because he was unstoppable, dude.
What do Florida and Florida State think about Warren Sapp?
They probably hate him, especially I'm sure they hate him. But everybody they hate all Miami hates Derek Brooks and all that in a good way.
True, sports hate.
Yeah.
Number 16, Dre Bly from North Carolina. Number 15, Desmond Howard from Michigan.
Yeah, I'll probably Desmond Howard obviously won the Heisman. It's crazy you got Heisman winners that are in the teens. And Dre Bly had, like I said, that he had that 1 year. He came in as a baseball player. He had 11 picks. And that was it. So he was a playmaker extraordinaire. And then obviously Desmond Howard was a great player at Michigan.
Moving on through the list, number 14, Danny Werfel.
Yeah.
Maybe had the numbers,
that's
but
awful high though, man, for him.
For a Heisman.
Yeah.
Number 13, Marvin Jones.
Oh yeah, Shade Tree.
Shade Tree.
Yeah,
Shade Tree. That's a heck of a nickname. Okay.
Yeah. He was a big linebacker, kind of like he was bigger and thicker than LeVar Arrington, and they call him the Shade Tree dude because he was just everywhere, and he was knocking heads off down there. Yeah, that was when it was a true battle back then.
Okay, Teddy Bruschi at number 12 and Ray Lewis at number 11.
I like both of those. Desert Storm with Teddy Bruschi and those guys kind of put Arizona on the map, and then Ray Lewis. Obviously, I remember. Here's a funny story about Ray Lewis. We were getting ready to play him. And Coach Osborne put the tape on. I'll never forget this. They were going against Pittsburgh, right? And obviously Warren Sapp and all those guys on the team. Pittsburgh had Curtis Martin, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Reuben Brown, eventual Hall of Famer as offensive line. Multiple guys on that team that played a long time in the pros. Ray Lewis, he put on 20 or 25 plays? It was 20. The first 20 plays, he had either made a tackle or was a factor in 18 of those plays.
That's a lot.
Straight up. And he put it up there. He was like, this is like, and that's how great he was. And I'd probably say 11 might be a little too low, but he ran out of gas against us.
A lot of guys on Miami did in that game. They say Ray Lewis's best season was 1995, 160 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. For his career, about 388 tackles, 4 interceptions, and that 1 touchdown. Thought this was interesting, though, Jay. Lewis grew up as a Florida State fan, but got Miami's last available scholarship in 93.
Oh, yeah. He was kind of like a running back where they said he was not big enough and not fast enough. And I think what he was able to do is parlay that one chance into being the best of all time or one of the best of all time. I think he played as a freshman. He has a wrestling background. He's very competitive. And you know what the funny thing is, I don't know Ray Lewis's whole story. It'd be great to, get him, get a hold of him and have him tell it. Is that, when you talk about these camps and you start to, they have the opening and stuff with the, Trey Taylor and Braylon Warren's up there. But back then, if a lot of these guys didn't have the means or the support from their high school or their high school coaches to go to these things. And that's when the competition was so thick to get a Miami, Florida State, or Florida offer. And let's face it, South Florida, UCF weren't very good yet, right?
No.
Or not even viable. So it was like they're a bust, and you almost kind of were looked down upon if you went outside the state borders. And that's where Nebraska was able to get Tommy Frazier, Tyrone Williams, Chevin, all these guys there from down there, I think, at Manatee. And so that's when you think Ray Lewis normally would have been able to go to like a Texas or something and not have to wait in this day and time, right? So if Texas saw how great he was in high school, because if you watch his highlight tape, you're like, what are you waiting on? So if you see him playing Texas or somebody like that, or Georgia would come get him, he waited and he was lucky enough to get it, and the rest is history.
There's another sentence in here that I think you will identify with. In his first career start against Colorado, Lewis harassed speedy quarterback Cordell Stewart all day.
Yeah, I remember watching that game because, like I said, I grew up in a Miami household, a Miami fan. and they went up there and represented. And he was just as a freshman, he was great, man.
Number 10, Champ Bailey.
I like that.
Champ Bailey rated 5 spots ahead of Desmond Howard just for their collegiate careers. Would you take Champ Bailey over Desmond Howard?
Yes, every day of the week. Just as dangerous as far as a kick returner and punt returner. He was a two-way player before he became fashionable, and was a straight dog and lockdown corner. Stupid athletic.
We'll go ahead and we'll just spoil the number 1 player on this list, Charles Woodson.
I'll give him that. He's a great player.
Okay.
I think my I wouldn't say admiration, but my appreciation for Charles Woodson has grown, when you watch him in the pros. And, I think at Michigan, it was kind of a byproduct of they retired in Nebraska. And then they kind of, if people, I had a couple teammates from high school that were at Michigan, and how they manipulated the process through the whole Heisman and getting in, getting partial championship. But he was a great player. And he played, the great thing about him and Champ Bailey, they played the best and the biggest moments.
Both in college and in the pros.
In the pros, right. Yeah, and that's what you judge. To me, it's what I judge greatness on.
Champ Bailey in college, 8 interceptions, 59 catches for just shy of 1,000 yards and 6 total touchdowns. Moving on through this top 10, number 9, Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah. I would maybe thought he would be higher. I mean, I think when Peyton came out of high school, he just stepped right in and was just running things at Tennessee. So, look, we faced him, and he was everything that
made him look like number 99 as opposed to number 9.
Yeah. But you knew how great he was, though. I mean, Peyton was great in college and even better in the pros.
And let's stick on that there for just a second. Not to denigrate Peyton Manning, but holy cow, if he was great, what do you guys do to him?
Yeah,
what does that say about you guys? That you took an all-time great, not just in the pros, but also a guy that had 11,000 career passing yards and a 1.05 interception percentage in a single season. Took great care of the ball, and you turned his orange jersey green.
Yeah, I mean, look, they had a great team. They had Marcus Nash, a first-round pick, Peerless Price, a second-round pick, Copeland, that was a third-round pick. All 5 of their linemen were drafted fourth round or higher. Then obviously you had Peyton Manning, you had Sean Bryson, and then you had Jamal Lewis, who was their running back. I mean, that was an NFL team, or eventually an NFL team, obviously. And then they had Leonard Little and Al Wilson, Raynoch Thompson on defense. Terry Fair, who was a first-round pick. Noel, that was a second or third-round pick. So it was good on good. And Peyton was a part of that, and we were able. That was the year they finally had their breakthrough. They kind of Tennessee is always, kind of was Ohio State of the SEC. I remember when they played in the bowl game.
The John Cooper Ohio State of the SEC.
Where they'd be great all year, then they're supposed to beat Michigan, and maybe they beat. He never beat Michigan, but then they would lose to Michigan when they shouldn't, or when they were playing really well, they'd lose to Michigan State or something. They would do something. That's what Tennessee was, and they broke through, and then obviously they got broken in the Orange Bowl.
At number 8, a guy that I remember first and foremost from your Houston Texans, Ron Dayne.
Yeah, Ron Dayne was, him and Barry Alvarez go, hand in hand. I mean, Barry Alvarez obviously has Nebraska ties and ran the ball effectively all the time, and he had Moss and Fletcher the year, and then obviously you got Ron Dayne. I think that's where it really kind of highlighted Wisconsin and kind of brought Wisconsin to national prominence. Ron Dayne was a great college running back, obviously. In the pros, I think he eventually when he found his footing, he was very, very productive in Houston, and then a year or two with the Giants. And so he was a big man. He was a big dude, quick though. Kind of not. I don't think the breakaway speed like Jerome Bettis, but has that short area quickness where he dice you up, and then obviously the balance is there as well.
Number 7, Charlie Ward, who was obviously really good at college football, but still carved out an 11-year NBA career as well. Not bad.
Tommy Frazier, Charlie Ward, unfortunately, 10 years before their time.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 10 years
Well,
late.
I mean, Michael Vick was around at the end of the decade even.
Yeah, so like about 10 years.
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years later, and let's just say 10 to 12 years where they really are okay with their playing style.
Yeah.
You would be talking about Charlie Ward and Tommy Frazier in a whole different light as far as college and pro football.
Can you throw McNabb into that conversation? I know he came at the end of the decade, but
McNabb. He was more of a passer, but sure, you throw I think Tommy Frazier, Charlie Ward, and those guys being overlooked, I think paved the path for McNabb. And then you have to have Andy Reid, obviously, with McNabb, and then he sees an eye for talent in Mahomes. You have to have that special person that's willing to, I wouldn't even say take a chance, but actually just, give you your just due. And then obviously can't forget the Godfathers, and Charlie Ward is just that.
Who would Tommy Frazier and Charlie Ward be in today's NFL? Do they have close comparisons?
Charlie Ward, he's probably like Russell Wilson.
Okay, I like it.
In his prime, can run, athletic. Probably say he's better athletically than Russell Wilson.
I mean, one of these guys played NBA basketball.
And he's bigger,
right?
Taller. So like that, he could throw the ball. He had really good touch, smart, tough, great leader. So I would say that. T. Frazier. I'd probably say like Lamar Jackson. Not probably. Lamar's probably a little bit faster. T. Frazier's bigger.
Sure.
Just along that type of guys that I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
I like it. All right, we got just a handful of names left to go. Number 6, Marshall Faulk.
Let me tell you something, man. I remember just watching ESPN. We first started. We just got cable, so we didn't have cable for a while. I think actually we stole it from the Navy, to be honest with you. But we had cable, and I remember we had ESPN. I remember they played late at night, and obviously Marshall Faulk was getting busy, and it was must-see TV to the point before I wore number 6 because our jerseys were black like that. We wore red helmets, all black. We had a little white stuff on it, but that was it. I wore 28 before I wore 6.
Wow.
Marshall Faulk was cold-blooded. I would tell you this.
Not bad for a cornerback.
I know, right? Well, we had him to play a corner. Let me tell you something, man. When one of the best compliments I ever got was we played them, and when you play like Eddie George, it's more of a mental thing. You're getting ready for like essentially a street fight, right? Or when you play against other guys like that, you're ready for it. With Barry Sanders and Marshall Faulk, I lost some sleep. Now, Barry Sanders didn't play in the preseason game.
He ducked you is what happened.
He wasn't ducking me. I think
he ducked you. You can say it. It's okay.
I think Lamont and Peter, our agents, say, hey, look, man, we got to get 3% from this brother. You take the day off, right? And Barry probably obliged. But I think with Marshall Faulk, he did. I don't think he did. He did play. And it was at full go. And there was he was graceful, powerful, but he was just that good. So I made a couple good plays, and he he was tapping me on the shoulder and was like, man, good play. I mean, that's kind of like, but when the way he moved though, man, it was crazy. And then, before the injuries kind of got him, but he, when he was at Indianapolis and now with the Rams, homeboy was tough. And then in college,
Is there like a spiritual succession from Barry Sanders to Marshall Faulk to Edge?
A little bit. I think Edge has a little bit of both of them in there. You know what I mean? What I'm saying? He's a combination of them. I mean, he's the toughest guy that I played on in my opinion, on a consistent basis. He was great ever since he came in the league. But yeah, I think when you look at those guys, Barry Sanders and Marshall Faulk, Edgerrin James especially at his prime when he first came in the league. When he told Bill Polian, I'm gonna double that contract with him incentive. When a brother running for a check, he was running and he was running through everybody.
Strike up the band and sign the check.
Oh yeah.
All right, top 5. Randy Moss.
Oh, yeah.
Certified. Number 4, Ricky Williams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, Tommy Frazier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, the Heisman, he should have won it. I think Tommy Frazier, for what he brought to Nebraska and the way he played in big games and all that is just, that's it. We played a tough schedule back then. So the stats wouldn't show it, especially like a couple games, toward when he was, coming back and stuff. So then that kind of was like what they used against them. But we won. We playing against one of the top defenses in the league, and then obviously he was hurt a little bit, in the beginning of the season. But yeah, Tommy, that right there lets you know Tommy should have won the Heisman. When people talk about Nebraska, I mean, there's guys that I played with in the league that Tommy Frazier struck the fear of God in them. I don't think people realize how good he was. Now, I mean, obviously, you had a great line, and we had great running backs and a great system. But some of the things he used to do, and the best thing about Tommy, I think, is that no matter what, I'd take him to. If I needed somebody to win a game, I'm taking Tommy, because the great thing I look at it like he could start out a little slow throwing the ball, right? Say like 1 for 6, but when it came money time, homeboy 10 for 10, and he demanded excellence. Look, he was, this team needs the Tommy Frazier. Nebraska needs the Tommy Frazier.
Yeah.
A guy that actually is so invested in winning in this team, he doesn't care that if he makes you a little bit uncomfortable, because ultimately, winning, that's all that matters.
Mitch Sherman did a nice piece on Tommy Frazier as part of this series as well, so I'd recommend people go check that out. I think the other interesting part about this, Jay, is the very first sentence. Frazier was perhaps the toughest player to slot.
Yeah.
If Heisman voting is 2 weeks later, does that change, right? If Brooke Behringer wasn't as good as he was, does that conversation change? Obviously, it's a bunch of what ifs, and you can't change it. But I think to your point on Tommy Frazier, got kids like me grow up. I didn't get to watch a second of Tommy Frazier in college football. It's, best quarterback in Nebraska history. He's a gamer. He was a baller. It's one of those things that we say because it's true. But the more you say it without actually having been there to watch it and experience, not to say it rings hollow, but it probably loses some of the luster just because maybe there's a part of, the younger generation that had to be there to truly understand.
Yeah, and you don't recognize it because, the young people are just so stat driven. You got to think, he split time with Brooke. Brooke was a good player. Wasn't as good as Tommy, period. Mm-hmm. And that's no knock against Brooke. It wasn't close.
Stole a fifth-year senior's job.
Right. So
not stole, but what I mean.
So it wasn't but he was good enough to play some. So, but you got to think a lot of these guys on that list, they never came off the field. I always tell people about Jason Peter and like Mike Rucker, Grant Wistrom, and those guys. Like, I guess you could throw me and Farley in there as well. If we were able to play the same amount of reps, like those records we had wouldn't be touched. And that's if it would have fit. But that also lets you know when you're a great player like Tommy, making the ultimate sacrifice, he still gets his just due. Now, ultimately, I wish they could give him the Heisman because a week or two later, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
But I think that's also Florida had to pay for that. But I also think, whether Tommy Frazier did it, we all kind of had to deal with that. By the second, third quarter, we're out. It affects you individually, but collectively, we were really good.
Number 2 player on the list, Orlando Pace.
Yeah, I could see. It's probably a little bit high for him. I mean, I think.
Not big of a gap between him and Ogden.
Right. That's what I was just about to say. I was like, dang. But you know what? He was at Ohio State. Eddie George, I think, was there. He was a big dude that could move. Ogden was way out in the West Coast. You lose a little bit of your national luster that way.
Just ask Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Toby Gerhart.
Right. And so Orlando Pace is, I would probably say a little bit too high, but you know what? He's kind of like the first big guy, to be in the Heisman race, at the senior where he's number 4. So, he's a Hall of Famer too. You can't, but that lets you, the difference is 23 slots between him and Ogden. That's not it.
And then number 1, as we mentioned, was Charles Woodson. So that's the list. Not any crazy quibbles necessarily, but
I don't know. Do you really think Woodson number 1?
It's hard for me to say, especially because his career. 16 interceptions is a bunch in a career.
That is a lot.
Especially in a Big Ten that probably wasn't throwing the ball necessarily. Yeah. So that has to stand out. But for being this do-it-all two-way guy, 370 career receiving yards and 167 career rushing yards. Yeah. Really, is that enough to qualify you as a two-way player? Yeah. That to me, again, stats aren't everything. I don't want to be one of those kids that you're talking about. just looking at the stats, but also, shouldn't it be overwhelming statistically? Maybe the 16 interceptions are the stat and what have you. But
Dre Bly's right there with him with that, though.
Right.
So I think,
and that was number 16 guy.
Yeah, and that's not taking anything away from Charles, but I think a lot of those stats that they were doing was ultimately in the push to get him to win the Heisman because their offense really wasn't that good.
No.
Right. So it's a little, in my opinion, probably a little too high, but I don't think he's outside the top 5.
Yeah.
But he was dang good. Obviously dang good. I have appreciation for him. He was a really good player. Really good player.
Absolutely agree. All right, with that, we will go to break. We'll take your thoughts here. 402-464-5685. Keep this conversation rolling. And as we talk about the best players, EA Sports and College Football 27 have their official player ratings out. Who do they say are Nebraska's 5 top players? We'll get into that. What does it mean for Nebraska if those 5 players are Nebraska's best 5? We'll get into that on Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Join us this Friday, June 26th from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings for their Customer Appreciation Day. Both boneless and traditional wings are just 50 cents each all day long. Plus, they'll have signups for free wings for a year and more. Come hang out with 93.7 The Ticket on Friday, June 26th from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O.
Bonzal Pool and Spa is turning 75, and you're getting the presents. Right now, we're counting down to our Big Diamond Anniversary Bash on July 11th with massive weekly doorbuster sales. Stop in every Monday for 75% off your favorite premium BioGuard water care products. Plus, every $75 you spend starting today enters you to win a $7,500 premium in-home sauna. Get your pool ready for summer and start winning today at Bonzal Pool and Spa, 33rd and Nebraska Parkway in Lincoln. Bonzal Pool and Spa, every day made better.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. The law offices of Cotta, Jewson, and Bryant here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and give your blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This from the law offices of Cotta, Jewson, and Bryant here in Lincoln. Stay united and keep America safe and strong.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, And a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket. Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Old School. Austin Oerman, Jay Foreman with you. Show brought to you by the good folks over at Graham Tire Company, which, by the way, we are right next door to right now. So just one building to the west of us here at Buffalo Wings and Rings is one of Graham Tire's 4 Lincoln locations. They've been proudly serving the Midwest for 75 years. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. It's Graham Tire getting you to the places that matter most. To our starter Heyman Jewelers text line, we go 402-464-5685. My dad says Tommy Frazier never lost a game. He just ran out of time a couple times.
Yeah.
And then 6785 says Tommy Frazier or Patrick Mahomes.
In college?
In college, that's no question, Tommy Frazier.
Yeah.
In the pros, that's no question, Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's an easy answer. In college, I'm taking T. Frazier. Pros, I'm taking Mahomes. And he's probably the closest thing. He's kind of like Tommy Frazier. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes comes in. He's got a tremendous amount of arm talent. But I think when you need him to drive and he hadn't been playing good, he's shown the ability to really just drive it and put that dagger in your heart, just like T. Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the funny
You
thing
experienced that personally a time or two?
No.
I'm just saying the teams that you root for experienced that a time or two?
Dude, that Tom Brady got me a couple times. and Peyton, but Tom Brady
D Ford got him a couple times, too.
Yeah. Hey, listen, every time D Ford looks down at his foot, and he's slew-footed, too. So
Man.
He's down there looking at his foot. He's thinking like, man, I wish I had a Super Bowl ring. But I'm going to tell you something about T. Frazier. I know he was coming back from his blood clots, and we always had a big scrimmage, and I'll never forget we were scrimmaging in the Cook. So it's ones against ones, and, Coach Osborne was like, we were playing Florida and talking about jobs were up, like, I don't know. He must have thought like I was going to lose my spot. I'd started all year, but then, they wanted, Jamel was playing some or whatever. I went out there and got busy. But I remember T. Frazier broke a run. First of all, I remember Lauren Phillips touched the ball. I just want to know that he was back. He touched the ball 3 times against the best defense in the nation. Hit his head on the goalpost.
Not once, not twice.
Granted, we weren't like really like striking each other, but I was like, oh yeah, he looks like he during the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then T. Frazier came through. It was funny. We were kind of just getting warmed up. T. Frazier came through. I don't know who ankles he broke. And he's like, I still got it as he was running. I was laughing, boy. And so, but T. Frazier,
do you actually know whose ankles he broke, but you're not going to give that identity away on air?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like a very political answer. All right. Jay Foreman continues his run for mayor at the very least. So I'm sure the answer's in there somewhere. It might come out during the debates. But the current players on Nebraska's roster, Jay, not that, college football ratings are everything, just like, high school stars aren't everything, but just an interesting kind of look from the outside in. Guys that don't crack the top 5 for Nebraska. Dwayne McDougal, transfer safety from San Diego State, gets an 82. Donovan Jones, an 82. Williams Nwaneri, 83. Andrew Marshall, 84. Vincent Shavers, 85. Quasi Gilmore, 85. Elijah Pritchett, 85. All missed the top 5 highest rated Huskers.
On the game?
On the game.
Man, that game is nice. I mean, their ratings are nice.
I think that's a little,
I might have been
a little
90,
generous.
I would have been like 96.
Well, you would have been 56 plus 44, which is 100. So.
I would have been up there. But no, there's some guys, I think, when you probably, you probably would have thought Andrew Marshall would have been a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty, he made some plays. And then McDougal, if Owen Chambliss is up there, you think McDougal would be higher than 82. So Williams Nwaneri and Donovan Jones, I think they're good players, and they, were kind of rotational players. And then Shavers is probably maybe a little bit too high. And then, Gilmore had a really good year at UCLA. Part of their that magical 4-week run where they really started to get busy. And Elijah Pritchett, I think, if he was able to be graded on that second half of the season, he'd probably be, higher than 85.
If Elijah Pritchett is not a top 5 player on Nebraska, is that a problem by the end of the year? If he's not a top 5 player all year long?
If he's not, only way the answer to that is yes, if it's clear cut. That's like there's no way he isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You want the so let's say Clandra balls out. Let's say Chambliss balls out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say one of the receivers balls out or something, and somebody else has a really good year. Say you put Justin Evans in there, then you get a couple in there, and then you're like, oh well, man, we forgot about Elijah Pritchard. Well, I see how he could be in there, but no, that's how you want it to be,
right?
So I'm okay with if he's not technically in the top 5 then.
If 5 other guys step up more.
Yeah, and he's just in the mix.
Sure.
And so, it's kind of like when you where we're seeing the golf up here. Say you're tied for 10th, but there's only 3 guys ahead of you. Like there's only 3, right? So that's fine.
Yeah.
But if it's at the point where the beginning of the season, a little bit overweight, you're getting some, procedure penalties, getting beat, and then you're like, oh, there's no way that he's, then he's in the top 5 or even the top 10. That'd be a problem, but I don't envision that happening. I think
he took some really big steps, about halfway midseason.
Yeah, he's got to just continue to mature. This is a hard time for a lot of these kids on this team where you got a lot of free time, some money in your pocket, and the sting of last year is completely gone. So if you really kind of don't keep that in the back of your mind or in your front of your mind, like on a daily basis, you can lose sight of what led to that sting last year. And why is that important? Because if you need to mature and you need to kind of have everybody else mature, and you got to hold yourself accountable and become more of a leader from your actions and versus your words, that's what's big. It's big for Elijah Pritchard. It's big for that offensive line. They put a lot of money invested. So there is a lot of expectations on them to perform well at a high level outside of non-con. That means getting in the conference, you have to be. I think where I saw something, they are on paper that rated like the top 5 or number 5 offensive line in the country. That means you're super
without playing a snap together. So go prove it. But
that means better than Ohio State. That means better than Michigan. That means you're in the same likes of Iowa, Notre Dame. I think Kentucky's on there, and you got to think the likes of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So there's some offensive linemen, and Oregon, and all these guys that generally have been running the ball at a very high clip. Let's not forget Miami.
Right.
So
even though they lost a guy or two.
Right.
But,
and so you got the pressure is on, and so as this team goes, is probably how Elijah Pritchard plays, because that his play and his play and his leadership by his play is going to inspire and up the expectations and ante for the other two.
The flip side of that then is, let's say that Elijah Pritchard is a no doubt about it top 5 player on Nebraska. Do you think it's more likely that Nebraska overachieved or that Nebraska dealt with injuries?
If he's no doubt, like if he comes out and he's dominant, they'll win more than whatever's projected. They'll overachieve, but it really won't be overachieving. It'd be actually just reaching
achieving.
Yeah, and reaching expectations. I think your expectations should always be to overachieve. You like Indiana. Everybody probably thought like, okay, they had a good first year. They probably had a probably ceiling on them, maybe 12 wins. Maybe getting the college football playoff again. No, they said, oh, we're overachieved. We're gonna win 16 games. Miami overachieved.
Yeah.
Texas A&M overachieved. Everybody thought they were good, but they never felt Texas A&M could win a big game or deal with adversity. They did both. Now they end up losing to Miami, but in a lot of ways, Ole Miss overachieved. They're very, very talented, but they always dookie down their leg. They showed some Then you had teams that underachieved. LSU, Clemson. So I think Nebraska should always be thinking about overachieving.
I think that's fair.
And that should be the expectations. And now, obviously, when you talk about a 95 team like we did last year, I think that anything besides us being one of the best of all time would probably be underachieving. But I think the way that we went about being a national champion, we overachieved because we're the best team of all time. So you were probably thinking we're going to be a national champion, right? Ideally, like to be back to back. Well, not only we did that, we became the best team of all time. That's overachieving as well. So even though you're a champion, you can overachieve.
The top 5 players per EA Sports College Football 27 game. Number 5 for Nebraska, Isaiah Hunter at an 86. Number 4, Ja'Cory Barney at an 87. Number 3, Anthony Calandria at an 87. Number 2, Owen Chambliss at an 89. And number 1, Justin Evans.
Dang.
If those 5 players are Nebraska football's 5 best players this year, what does that tell you?
It's scoring a lot of points. because when you look
throwing
at
the ball a lot.
When you look at it, there ain't nobody else other than their defense in that top 10. So Donnie Jones and obviously Chambliss, McDougal, and Vincent Shavers, and Williams Noweri.
Yeah,
and Marshall. So you're scoring a lot of points because you throw Pritchard in there, and you got to think Black and those guys will be just right around that 80 mark and continue to improve. But ultimately, if you get all those guys to play up to their potential, it's a good season for Nebraska. The biggest thing is going to be how you play against light competition, and can you play your best against the best teams? Will you I don't need players. I don't need you to be good. I mean, I want you to be good every game. But don't come talk to me that you're great after like, and there's no knock against like Bowling Green and them, right? Nah, player. You're getting paid. Come big time games. That means Indiana. That means Ohio State. That means at Oregon. That means at Iowa.
Washington at
home. You better be a factor. And I don't need you to be a factor to begin the game. I need to see you make plays when the times are tough. In the whole team, right? But
first quarter, middle 12.
I don't need to hear anybody on the radio after you may make a couple of explosive plays like, oh, he arrived after the game too. No, this is a 12-game season. Let's pull back on labeling these guys the next so-and-so and let them actually prove themselves for 12 games.
How's that for a concept?
Less talking and more doing, and it's also the media's fault too. It is. You know what I mean? Because these kids are paying attention to everything, and then you're up there telling them how great they are, and look, they haven't been developed. And look, if I was 18 years old getting paid any amount of money, and I ain't done anything, heck, I came in here thought I was cold-blooded anyways. Now, now I would imagine if I was getting paid a little bit or even playing. And so, the rankings and stuff are great. It's just all people's opinion. It's good that Nebraska's actually getting some love because generally when you've only won 7 games and kind of them in the season, well, they even if you're a really good player, they might, not give you enough credit. So those guys have, got to live up to EA Sports rankings.
I am fascinated by the Owen Chambliss ranking because I think if he's Nebraska's best defender, that's a type of piece they haven't had in a while. Sideline to sideline linebacker, probably in the backfield quite a bit, matching up with tight ends, maybe dropping into the slot, handling running backs. That really intrigues me if he can play up to that level.
Yeah, he's going to have to make plays. He's got to get better at some things. They broke it down a few times. But I think they're going to coach him well. I think they put him in a position to make plays. I think he's an extremely smart football player. He knows the system. They give him a lot of freedom. He makes really good football plays. So, I think with that, I think he has a great chance of being that. I think you in order for us to get to where Nebraska wants, we got to put pressure on the quarterback, and
which is where Williams Nwaneri has to be better than an 83.
Yeah, and other guys too, and maybe not better than 83, but you got to play like an 83. You might only have like a 75 ranking, but you're a dude, and that's because they haven't talked about you enough. But if Chambliss does it, then it's also like, all right, gives you credit to being able to get and have an eye for talent in the portal as well.
Yeah, it sure does. All right, we'll go to break. Your thoughts on the Sutter Heyman Jewelers text line. What does it mean for Nebraska football in 2026 and potentially 2027 if Justin Evans, Owen Chambliss, Anthony Calandria, Ja'Cory Barney, and Isaiah Hunter are the best players on Nebraska's team? We'll take your thoughts to wrap up hour 1 of Old School live from Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. We're serving up a $5.99 meal deal that includes a one-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side, and a drink, all for just $5.99. Craving brisket? Upgrade to our tender, slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Join us for lunch or dinner, or order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
When Nebraska businesses win, we all win. And the Nebraska Chamber is helping make that happen. Tackling the tough stuff like job creation, affordable and accessible childcare, and building a stronger workforce. We're stepping up so local businesses can step forward. If you want to see Nebraska keep growing, keep competing, and keep winning, get connected with the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Learn more at nechamber.com.
Bonzal Pool and Spa is turning 75, and you're getting the presents. Right now, we're counting down to our Big Diamond Anniversary Bash on July 11th with massive weekly doorbuster sales. Stop in every Monday for 75% off your favorite premium BioGuard water care products. Plus, every $75 you spend starting today enters you to win a $7,500 premium in-home sauna. Get your pool ready for summer and start winning today at Bonzal Pool and Spa, 33rd and Nebraska Parkway in Lincoln. Bonzal Pool and Spa, every day made better.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to its signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Graham Tire presents Life's Greatest Adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
What if your bank had people who care about the places we call home?
That's what Union Bank does. We encourage this culture of giving back.
I really enjoy working with People City Mission.
The United Way campaign.
Habitat for Humanity, Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Everyone's in to help make that community stronger.
To be part of all of this that's going on is pretty remarkable.
At UBT, Your money has people with a passion for serving. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour one of Old School here from Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O Streets. Don't forget, today is Customer Appreciation Day. Buffalo Wings and Wings and Rings. 50-cent boneless and traditional wings all day long. We are out here through Old School. That'll be till 6 o'clock, but their prices go all day. As long as we're out here, you can sign up for prizes like 5 free wings per week for a year and more. A couple signed Husker jerseys, Jerry Taggy and Demornay Pearson L. Free ticket swag for you all down here at 68th and he's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Oerman on our starter at Heyman Jewelers text line. Brad wants to know, does anyone remember Michael Bishop from Kansas State? Remember the name? I don't remember the player, Jay.
Yeah, I remember Michael Bishop, man.
You're familiar?
Yeah.
You introduced yourself a few times?
Man, I like to knock his head off, man. I'm just telling you, man. That dude, he was good, man. He was cold-blooded. He was a quarterback when they beat us down there at Kansas State. He was a tough competitor. It's funny. I ran into him in all places in Toronto. He played.
How about that?
He played in Canada. Great dude, though. Great guy. Great player. We talked about Bill Schneider, even though he's ranked way too high. He's a great player. He was kind of like the first legit quarterback. He was runner, thrower, made some timely passes. He was a great player.
Then from Westy. He says, how many 6-6, 7-5 teams make the jump to 8, 9, or 10 wins with average quarterback play? I feel it's a cop-out answer to say Calandria has to be a top 3 player this fall if Nebraska wants to overachieve.
Oh, he's got to earn his paycheck.
Yeah.
So you better be dang good.
Are we assuming that's the biggest paycheck on the roster?
Yeah, I assume so. If it's not, they're all in the same
neighborhood.
They're all in the gated neighborhood. Yeah, they're on the gated neighborhoods. But he's got to play good. I mean, that's just where we're at. There's no fair dodging. Like, you're here at Nebraska. Nobody I don't want to hear any excuses to go play, make some plays. Look, to be honest, give him credit. He ain't really talked that much.
Yeah.
I think he's a little quirky that way, but that's cool. So to handle your business, he's motivated. He's got to make plays. He's got to be the best version of himself. Offensive line has to play good. Everybody else needs the skill. Everybody else has to play good around him, and the defense has to step up. And that's going to be a huge part of everybody's success. And the special teams have got to be. Can't be a letdown from there. And so look, they've had plenty of time to prepare. But yeah, your quarterback needs to be one of your best players. But your best player needs to be your offensive line and defensive line. That would make it a lot easier on your quarterback. It would make everybody a better coordinator and position coaches. But what it comes down to for Nebraska, to be honest with you, is dealing with success and dealing with adversity. That's what it comes down to, man. It's never. I don't think it's ever been a quote unquote talent. There's been a couple teams like, dang, man, these dudes.
That's the best we got.
Like, you lucky to be here.
That's what passes for a Nebraska football player these days.
There was a couple. Look. Let's be honest. Jeff Sims, when he was playing for
suspect.
A little shaky, right? And stuff like that. Yeah, that's within reason. But I just think over this. Since Frank Solich to here, and this is in particular probably the Frost thing where they were always talking about talent. It wasn't talent. It was like you guys lost a lot of focus. Like, people don't believe it. I keep talking about it. I'm going to go on these podcasts and, work with some kids and stuff like that and talk to parents and do some stuff with coaches. Like, hey, look, man, I'm just telling you. I've coached basketball. There's just not a lot of good basketball players out there. There's not that many good football players out there. And it's not because they don't have the opportunity or the resources or the talent. They're just not good football players, period. And that's not everything's about the 90s. That's just the truth. Because you know what I enjoy doing? Like, we'd be watching football, sun up to sundown. They have other things under distraction. And what does success and failure go into it? Because when you're successful around here, it's like what Nick Saban called rat poison.
Yeah.
Yo, what's what's worse than that? Rat poison is the worst.
It's pretty bad.
Cyanide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chernobyl.
Same effect.
Hey, hold on. We're gonna say it's like Chernobyl around here. That's it's Chernobyl. I'm telling you, yo, they'll have success, and the next week they look like the Walking Dead out there. Am I right?
And then the reactor collapses.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, right. So it's an individual choice and a collective by the players to keep everything in perspective and understand this bubble in Nebraska will get popped when you come out of this bubble. You have to realize there's other good players out there. There's other teams that are going to bite back. The days of you
and whose good players might be better than your good players,
but you got to raise your level of play. You know, and then the days of getting off the bus. I always tell people this: when we used to get off the bus, the ground used to shake. They knew exactly what they were getting. What you saw on tape really wasn't what you were getting. It's going to be worse. So they think they're that. We knew it. So what you have to do is go improve it over and over and over and work towards it, and then you'll be able to get off the feeling of that ground shaking, intimidating.
A couple more things to add on that when we get back from break. We'll talk some Nebraska men's basketball, some NBA trade rumors coming up in hour 2 of the show as well. Don't forget Old School's here 3 to 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings for Customer Appreciation Day. Big thanks to Heartland and Nebraska Windows for their sponsorship of hour 1 of the show. Hour 2 comes your way next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us this Friday, June 26th from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings for their Customer Appreciation Day. Both boneless and traditional wings are just 50 cents each all day long. Plus, they'll have signups for free wings for a year and more. Come hang out with 93.7 The Ticket on Friday, June 26th from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish, no mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to its signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
When Nebraska businesses win, we all win. And the Nebraska Chamber is helping make that happen. Tackling the tough stuff like job creation, affordable and accessible childcare, and building a stronger workforce. We're stepping up so local businesses can step forward. If you want to see Nebraska keep growing, keep competing, and keep winning, get connected with the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Learn more at nechamber.com.
Go hog wild, Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. We're serving up a $5.99 meal deal that includes a one-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side and a drink, all for just $5.99. Craving brisket? Upgrade to our tender, slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Join us for lunch or dinner, or order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Bonsall Pool and Spa is turning 75, and you're getting the presents. Right now, we're counting down to our big diamond anniversary bash on July 11th with massive weekly doorbuster sales. Stop in every Monday for 75% off your favorite premium BioGuard water care products. Plus, every $75 you spend starting today enters you to win a $7,500 premium in-home sauna. Get your pool ready for summer and start winning today at Bonsall Pool and Spa, 33rd and Nebraska Parkway in Lincoln. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Oerman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in hour 2 of Old School with you from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O here in Lincoln for Customer Appreciation Day. I'm Austin. He's Jay. Thanks for being along for the ride. You can be part of the show, 402-464-5685. That's the number to our starter, Heyman Jewelers text line. I'm going to go back to that text from Westy here, Jay. Is it a cop-out to say that Calandria has to be a top 3 player for Nebraska this fall? I'm going to make
what does that question mean? That he has to play higher, or does he have to?
He has to be better. You know, like for Nebraska to achieve what it wants to achieve, does Anthony Calandria have to be not just a top 5, but a top 3 player on the roster?
Yeah.
And all.
That's not a cop-out. That's reality.
Okay.
Right, don't you think?
Well, yes and no. And let me have the context behind why I say not necessarily. I think in Nebraska's current position, yes, he probably needs to be a top 3 player on the roster. Probably needs to be challenging for all conference. Probably not first team, probably not second team, but if he can be honorable mention, all conference, good, that's huge. It's been a while since Nebraska's even gotten that level of production at quarterback. But I think when teams are fully optimized, fully realize the best versions of themselves, which I doubt this Nebraska team will be, but if this roster is going to achieve whatever its maximum ceiling is, Calandria will need to be top 3. For Nebraska to achieve that high as a program in terms of what it's capable of, I don't necessarily think that the quarterback has to be a top 3 player if the rest of the roster is in good shape. Like, is Will Howard a top 5 player on that Ohio State title team?
Not even close.
J.J. McCarthy, Was he that much better than Cade McNamara? Was he a top 5 player on that Michigan title team? Mendoza was, for Indiana, probably, especially relative to the rest of the league. But obviously, quarterback's important. I'm not trying to argue against that. But I think if you put all the chips into, our quarterback has to be the best player. No, your quarterback has to be good. And like you said, with Tommy Frazier, own the big moments, right? If you face 5 big moments a game, you probably got to nail all 5 of them, at least 4 of them, if your team has your back and can pick you up. But I think you talked about it yesterday. Does Nebraska need to major in the off-schedule stuff? I think Anthony Calandria, just by virtue of being the quarterback, there's enough responsibility on his plate. But if Nebraska is in its healthiest spot as a football program, the quarterback is there for those big moments, not just, game manager and only those 5 plays. The quarterback has to be good, has to be legit, has to be, I see what they're going for. But it's also not a sure thing that they have to be a top 5 player any given year.
Yeah. I mean, I think for Nebraska to, I guess, I don't even know what overachieve was. Just say Nebraska win 8 or more games, right? Calandria's going to have to play really, really well.
Yes.
And it's not even a stat thing. He's going to have to be really, really efficient with the football. Turnover ratio is going to have to be extraordinary. His decision making has to be impeccable as well, because he's going to have to play defense while he's playing offense as well. So that's where I think he has to be. But ultimately, to his defense, on the flip side, I would say the defense has to play as a top 5 player and as a unit. It can't just be Owen Chambliss and Marshall have great seasons and then McDougal kind of, you know what I mean? That defense has to play really well, because the best offense for Nebraska, when you compare like Nebraska going against Indiana, let's just say Nebraska going against Oregon, because I think their defense is going to be pretty salty coming back. Let's say Washington's defense is going to continue to be better because they've had a couple good recruiting classes, retained players as well.
And you'll be going up against some good quarterbacks that you'll want to try to keep pace with on the other side, even though you're not facing off against them.
So, and then also you think Iowa, right? So when you think about Nebraska's offensive skill positions guys, that they're probably, they don't have a Jeremiah Smith.
No.
They don't have a Chris Henry Jr. They don't have a Bo Jackson, in the running back room. Julian Sagan's hard to overcome as a Big Ten, first team all-conference quarterback. So when you're thinking about that, that's why I think the onus is on the defense, because the skill position guys are good. I think they're better overall in the wide receiver room. Year 2 and Hunter. You have to have a motivated Barney. And I think Quasi kind of brings maybe a more legit deep threat than Dane Key. Dane Key, I think, was really good at 50-50 or decent with the 50-50, probably a good blocker. But Gilmer's got to be able to do both and then stretch the defense some. And then with the maturation of Quinn Clark and Jones and all these guys, they got to get in where they fit in. And it's the second year with their position coach. So, so I think for Calandria, that's where he's got to make everybody better. I think, there's going to be games where he gets loose on teams and gives a lot of guys problems as far as like being able to handle them in the open field.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you right now, listen, you will get put to sleep in the Big Ten. And I'm just telling you this right now. I've seen it. I mean, it's like you play against Iowa. Emmett was kind of running through those dudes, but they still were hitting him.
Yeah.
You will get hit in this league. So this isn't the Mountain West. And so that's where you have to have a really good year for Lindenmeyer. You have to be somebody has to step up, like really step up in that running back room. There'll still be guys coming nipping at your heels, but we got to find out who's that guy that's going to be out there every single game, number one. And you got to play like it in the run and pass game. And then because your best defense is going to be a very, very consistent and efficient offense. We got to score when we get chances because ultimately I think, Brett will do a good job as a special teams coach, but it's going to take some time. Not time that, like, I think the standard is still there, but just getting used to kind of, it'd be no different if, I was in there and I was kind of consultant and I'm a linebacker coach, kind of going through like your pregame routine, getting your rotation. It just takes a little bit. Brett's a great kicker in himself.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what he's doing. So what I'm saying is everybody's got to step up.
You mentioned Iowa, and I've been sitting on this for about a week and a half just because it was fascinating to me. Steve Palazzo writing, I believe, for Pro Football Focus or someone. But anyways, big NFL name was watching Brendan Sorsby against Utah and working on a theory that highly drafted quarterbacks struggle on the road at Utah. And this turns into an Iowa stat because Iowa is the number 1 EPA per play defense against drafted quarterbacks since 2015. And here's the thing. I'm not saying Anthony Colandrea won't get drafted. I'm saying he's not a drafted quarterback right now necessarily, which is why he's at Nebraska for his senior year and not an early entrant into the NFL draft.
Right.
But Steve Palazzolo tweets out, since 2015, drafted quarterbacks are averaging negative 0.08 expected points added per play against Georgia. Iowa is number 1 at negative 0.019. So Iowa is essentially, 2.5 times better than Georgia in this metric against drafted quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They're the best of the best, whether it's at home or on the road. Iowa's going to make every quarterback's life miserable.
Oh, yeah.
They're not scared of Colandrea. No, he's not scared of them. That's not what I'm trying to say either. But you think about Indiana's defense, how good it was down the stretch last year, losing some pieces. Oregon's defense actually returns quite a bit. Ohio State's going to be Ohio State. We'll see what Pat Fitzgerald can do in year 1 at Michigan State as a defensive-minded guy, on and on through the list. Illinois, you go to a pretty good track record. But maybe the toughest test Anthony Colandrea will face is Phil Parker and Iowa, who have swallowed up some pretty darn elite college quarterbacks and guys that have gone on to NFL success as well.
Yeah, and you're playing them on the road at home, and it's probably going to be bone chilling up there. So, I mean, look, the games are, meant to be played, and you got to do what you got to do. But, yeah, I mean, look, Iowa's tough, man. I mean, look, they know their system. They recruit to their system. They develop to their system. They somehow, when they lose a lot of guys to the NFL, you lose Campbell to the NFL, and here comes Higgins. He leads the nation in tackles. And then then this year I felt like, their defensive line got better as the season went on. Obviously didn't play well against Nebraska. The linebackers were just okay, but then just okay linebackers, one of them got drafted in the 5th round. I felt like their defensive backs were young, but they'll be good next year. I think their safeties are good. They're probably more dynamic than they've had a little bit, where they can, I call it like where they can rock and roll. You don't have to switch and play field in boundary. So, and they play to their strengths. And they, to be honest with you, when LeVar Woods was there, or LeVar Woods, excuse me, former linebacker, and obviously at Iowa, a really good linebacker and a really good special teams and recruiter. They've done a decent job, a good job recruiting for them.
Yeah.
And look, that offensive line is going to be there to play. They have a good tight end, and actually good tight ends. We'll see what the quarterback play seems like is going to be better. And that running back was a freshman last year, and he can go. So it's the same thing. Look, they're gonna make you beat them. They're gonna box you in. They're not going to give you a big play, and they're going to hit you, man. You might get them, but they're going to hit you, and they play hard.
Yeah,
and they know exactly. There's not you just got to beat them. But they do a really good job because they'll they major in like cover 3.
How does Nebraska beat cover 3?
One thing I like is if you could find a way to get some sort of like wing to the boundary, and then you test them up the boundary up the boundary, and obviously in the seam. You get obviously be Lindenmeyer or some sort of crossing route there. I think what you have to do against Iowa in that cover 3, attack that second level. Meaning, get up in those linebackers' vision, make them second guess themselves, then whether it's check down, middle, over the top. You remember when Trey Palmer was here, it was Chuck and Duck, and it was a house party against Riley Moss and all them, and I think Cooper or
DeJean was on that roster. I think
he came in and he got that. We gave him that work too. Yeah, he got that work too. So it can happen. So, but ultimately, I think that happens with good line protection. And remember, we were running the ball pretty decent, just to keep them on their toes, where they weren't able to get you in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. 3rd and 12. And what we also didn't do that game, what we can't do this year is progress, negative.
Yeah.
Because those, even though say like we have a procedure penalty or something, that's like a tackle for loss for them. Because then you go from like 1st and 10, 1st and 15. Well,
change the play call,
change the aura. You're on the road. So they've done that against everybody especially when they play teams at home. You remember when they played Penn State a few times. I mean, those are white knuckle games. When they played Wisconsin, when they were really rolling with their type of quarterbacks and all the different guys they were able to kind of stymie. It wasn't a defense that let them down. It was more or less they weren't able to score points. And so Iowa's going to Iowa. Everybody's going to be tough. That's the great thing about this opportunity this year for these guys that are highly ranked and thought of. You have to play well. There is no excuses.
And there's choice.
And there's no choice. And that's good. That's a good thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah.
You're getting paid, so now you're going to go perform, and you have to perform.
Mhm.
And, Nebraska did a really good job of trying to, up their roster. They felt like they feel like they spent diligently in places of need. And then also I think this is time for guys that maybe come into the season and think or maybe say the defense where, there's questions across the defensive line. It's time for guys to step up.
Mhm.
Riley Van Poppel is a great opportunity for you. The 2 transfers, Whittington and Stoutmar, it's a great opportunity for you. What about
Cam Lenhart? What are you?
Lenhart,
Kate Petchak? What are you?
Petchak, all that, right? Williams Newary. Was it Jones from UCLA, right?
Anthony Jones. Yep.
Anthony Jones
Mhm.
from him. Where do you fit in?
Mhm.
And then
Tyson Terry, can you contribute right away?
Right, and then his number was number 92, where you kind of hear about him.
Is that Ochoa or Lefotu?
Lefotu and Ochoa. What are you guys going to do? And then this is a big year for Vincent Shavers as well. What type of
Mhm.
explosiveness can you provide on a consistent basis? My point is this: we have to get past the point of, okay, we feel good about the offense because we invested in it, and then now the defense, guys won't step. You gotta play good. There's time. I've been in those positions.
Mhm.
It can happen, but you gotta want to do it. You gotta be you gotta be more disciplined and motivated to understand that. People are gonna doubt you no matter what.
Mhm.
Sure. Look, Nebraska's lost pretty much ever since I left on a consistent basis. Besides Bo Pelini, you've lost all the time.
Mhm.
Embarrassed Nebraska all the time. It's not your fault, but don't be mad because that's what people think. That's factual.
That's what's happened. You can't argue it.
Right. That's factual. It's not your fault. It's just
Mhm.
you can't hold Matt Rule accountable for what Mike Riley and Scott Frost did. You know what I'm saying? But you can't expect people to give you kudos for what Coach Osborne and Coach Solich and Coach Bo did. It goes both ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think let's go to the parenting example here. You can't blame me for the mess my kids make,
Right.
but here's the thing. I'm the one that has to clean it up.
Yeah.
Just like you can't give me credit for the messes that my parents cleaned up, that
Right.
I made when I was a kid,
Right.
right? The reality is Nebraska is right now a 500 program.
Yeah.
At best. That's been the high water mark essentially for Nebraska. Yeah, okay, 7-5 regular season. That's a game above. Did you validate that in any way against Utah outside of the first drive or two? No, you really didn't. And so being able to be mature enough, be adult enough to understand where that distinction and difference lies, where you're not putting so much, I don't want to say pressure on yourself, but not trying to take on yourself the sins of the previous generation or whatever, but still understanding that even though those aren't yours, you're dealing with the ramifications. Is it fair?
No.
Yes.
But
because guess what? It's not equal, but it is fair because guess
is
what?
fair.
You signed the contract. You said, I know, or I think I know what I'm walking into. I'm going to sign this contract to get it fixed. Whether you're Matt Rule's the head coach, Dana Holgerson is the OC, any of the players, whatever, it is fair. You know why? Because you said it was fair. By coming to Nebraska, you accepted the challenge of making up for anything that was or wasn't done before.
Yeah, it's definitely fair because you're getting paid for it, and it's fair because here's why it's actually fair. It's a couple of reasons. When you just do a little something, right, you're treated as if you won a national championship. That's why it's fair.
Mhm.
So if you have to deal with some of the, I wouldn't even say, I guess, the pessimism or we'll wait and see, so be it. Because once you do a little something, I remember people talking about when we beat that Houston Christian, oh, we're back. No, we ain't. Right? Oh, reminds me of it. Because here's what people need to understand about the 90s. And like I said, I've been thinking about this a lot since I realized, dang, I didn't realize how, dominant we were in the 90s in Nebraska. Everybody's benefiting off of it. And with people that push back on it, I get it, the young fan, it isn't the 90s. College football has changed, but the way that you win hasn't changed. College football has changed. The run that we went on, probably the run that Alabama went on, probably won't ever happen again. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right? But you also understand that everybody goes and puts their butts in the stands just for a glimpse of what the 90s looked like, just so they can be told this is actually what it was like. Because I've talked to the young fans and all that stuff. So, look, I think the the situation where they're at is if it's embraced right, where you don't have any excuses, and when you tell somebody you don't have any excuses, that also means I can be somewhat fair and rational and not hold you to a standard that you like. I know you're not us.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, that doesn't do anything for me. I'm not
Right.
living through you. I want you to win, so
Mhm.
I can be fair that way.
Yeah.
And so, but I can judge you on how much you're invested. I can judge you on
Because that shows through, even if you're not in the building every day. You can
how
tell.
hard you play,
Mhm.
what type of teammate you are, what type of team you are, how tough you are, or whatever it is that the basics of football are. Are you a smart football player? Have you stepped up in the big games? I can judge you off that,
Mhm.
and that's fine. Doesn't matter if it's 1970 all the way to 2026.
Because guess what? That's also factual.
Right.
The tape won't lie.
Right, and you just leave it at that. And also, like for the people that the kids that come here and the fans and all that, so if you're a young guy, you just need to stop talking because you don't know what you're talking about. And I get it. You're trying to do what's right. Or you're trying to recruit for the program. I'm not here to hear the stuff like, if the fans are mad, kids won't come here. I don't want to hear that.
Guess what? Fans are mad everywhere.
Right, dude. If you listen, I know this for a fact. If you think Nebraska fans are bad, you have no idea what it's like in the SEC. I'm telling you, you have no idea what Tennessee fans will do. When Tennessee fans turn up and Alabama fans turn up.
Did Nebraska fans run a hire they didn't like out of town before he ever signed a contract?
Before he even got here.
Nope.
Couldn't even
Guess what? SEC's done it twice in the last 10 years.
Yo, listen, Bama fans and all that stuff, they will run you out of it. Florida fans, they will get you up out of there quick. Florida State fans are just waiting. They just ain't got their money right. They essentially, if
he's
Mike,
gone, he just doesn't know it yet.
No, he knows it.
Oh, he does know it? Okay.
If Mike Norvell's at Hy-Vee, somebody, you're gone after we get our money right. They telling him that, man. I got Travis Johnson, one of my good friends. He's a Florida State. You call no-blooded. Look, they say, we just waiting for him to get up out of here. They just wait. Literally, they're watching the games, waiting for game 12. So so my whole thing's like this for recruits and stuff like that. If you think it's bad here, and if you in like the pressure, there ain't no pressure, because the pressure.
Well, if this is pressure, wait till you experience real pressure.
Hey, real life pressure. This isn't pressure. Pressure comes from a lack of preparation. Anxiety and nervousness is natural. Pressure. Nobody's telling you need to go undefeated or you're fired. Nobody. If somebody's telling you that, then that you shouldn't even be listening.
Then they're wrong.
You know what? I got this cup of water I want to sell you for $1 million, and it's going to make you live forever. Right here in my hand. You see it?
That looks mighty fine.
Right.
Pretty parched, not going to lie.
There's nobody's telling them that, though. And so I get the pressure and the standard. And you know what? To be honest with you, you should embrace the standard, whatever that may be or whatever you think it is. And to be honest with you, if you embrace it, even though you don't know what it is, it'll make you better. Because I always talk about, as being a player here, and say you're a good player, you should always prepare as if some other player is out there that they might think is better than me, or he might be working harder than me, or I got to be prepared for, you should be thinking like, okay, Ohio might have some dudes, or like Michigan State, they might be, Fitzgerald with these dudes, he might be that much better. So you always should be tricking your mind into that anyways. Because if you live in that unknown, the games come like
chasing the ghost become natural.
Right. Then you're always kind of striving.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when that is kind of changed and embraced and really, really becomes like your culture and your mantra and stuff, along with everything else, then all that stuff, when you don't play well, then you can kind of like, we play like crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, like when we play Arizona State, we just started slow. They had a little bit more juice in us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta have some accountability there. It sucks sometimes when you lose, but that's sports.
Jay's got that $1 million glass of water he wants to sell you.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wings and Rings has 50-cent boneless and traditional wings they want to sell you. One of those is a better deal than the other. And having not tasted the cup of water that Jay's offering, I'm not sure, but I'm willing to wager that the 50-cent boneless and traditional wings is going to be a better deal.
I'm about to get me some wings. I can tell you that much right now. 50 cents wings, I'm on it. I love some wings.
Oh, by the way, you can also sign up for 5 free wings every week for a year. Right over there at our merch table. Stop by, say hi, pick up a T-shirt, sign up for free. You also have a chance to win either a DeMornay Pearsonell or a Jerry Taggy autographed Nebraska football jersey. All right, we'll keep to this conversation rolling, some other Husker athletics conversations, NBA trade rumors, and more rolling. We're going to come right back next year on Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 with signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Hey Nebraska sports fans, this summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close-up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves. We would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate again. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios at 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket.
That's right. Welcome back in to Old School. Austin Oerman, Jay Foreman with you. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Brought to you, as always, by Graham Tire Company with 4 Lincoln locations. Jay, we'll put the NBA stuff on the back burner, keep some Nebraska athletics conversations going. We've talked a lot of 5 for 5 in football for good reason. But I do think there's some interesting conversations to be had for basketball. Specifically, the question I'll ask you first, do you expect Nebraska men's basketball to change how it handles first-year players now that 5 for 5 is here?
That's an interesting question. I was thinking about that, like pretty much all day, but I think it's dependent on the player.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder. I'm thinking about, let's think of Janowski leaving.
Yep.
Would that change how they maybe handle Janowski and Frager?
Mm-hmm.
Because Fred had said that he'd almost pulled Frager's red shirt, because he had made so much improvement in practice.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like long term is the best thing for him. So then, I think it's on a case by case basis. So if you take a like a guy that's, I'm trying to think who, like a recruit that's needs to add a serious amount of weight.
Leo
right?
Curtis.
Yeah, Leo. Yeah. So. You're kind of really like, dude, look, we don't have to worry about redshirting you. So every day in practice, you need to be coming with it. You're going to get better. We'll get you in on the games that we're playing against Midland,
mm-hmm.
So you'll play a lot then and all that.
West Georgia, Florida International.
Those games. So I think, that kind of is their redshirt year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think guys that or Janowski, where you probably wish you didn't lose him. And same with Frager, you didn't lose him, but you felt like, all right, he could have gave us some punch.
Yeah,
I think how you handle it, you maybe throw them out there, for a little bit and see how they handle it. Then kind of I'll call it like a mid-season red shirt where they reset, right? Because it's a longer season than high school for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of, we're banged up a little bit, then you got to play them a little bit down the stretch. And so you think about, maybe like the little bit, Rink was a little bit banged up at time, his whole career towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Which you kind of maybe could have done maybe roster wise, even in recruiting now. Right.
Sure.
And so I think it changes a little bit. I think it's just going to come down to roster management. I think the guys that are really good, kind of are going to force their way on there, but ultimately it still comes down with these young kids that play. You got to play them, especially if they're highly rated.
Well,
because if you don't, somebody else will.
Right. That's why it was so fascinating to see Nebraska use Leo Curtis early in the year when we thought you would still have him as a redshirt.
Yeah.
He came in off the summer with Iceland. You're like, oh, you're putting him in at the end of this blowout. You're going to blow his redshirt just like that. Maybe knowing that 5 for 5 or having a feeling that 5 for 5 was around the corner and it would apply. And then, we've had plenty of those conversations. Should they have used Leo Curtis more or less? But I do think that the interesting examples in recent years, you can go back to Eli Rice was on the court a little bit as a freshman and still decided to leave anyways, which again, to your point, case by case basis, maybe he just wasn't long for the program to begin with. But that 24-25 season, when Fred Hoiberg has talked about, we probably needed what Braden Frager could have provided. Yeah. In Janowski, Nebraska won a recruiting battle, right? Against your Iowa States, your Wisconsins, your Marquettes, programs like that they've been losing some players to recently. Had Nebraska been able to throw Nick Janowski and Braden Frager out there as opposed to, trying to make Raleigh Wooster play through a little bit of an injury or Aaron Eulis trying to get back in the swing of things, so on and so forth down the line.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been any different? Who's to say, right? Because they would have been freshmen. They might have made freshman mistakes that cost Nebraska the game in different ways than the upperclassmen, but maybe now there's more willingness to break that glass in case of emergency just to see. I think typically offensively for freshmen, I would guess, especially with the standard that Nebraska is trying to set on the defensive side of the ball. But, Frager's a spark plug. I think Janowski, with his recruiting pedigree, what he was able to do offensively, even if, Asijan doesn't have it, in 24-25
right.
and he was healthy, can we try Frager? Can we try Janowski instead just to see if they give you something else?
A lot more flexibility, but then also I think, let's think for, a recruit just looking at it, right? So say you're like a stretch 3 or 4, right? That I'm in, say I'm at Lincoln East High School, and I'm about 6'7", right? And I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but, if I was getting recruited before this came out, I'm like, man, there's no way I'm probably redshirting no matter what I do because of Frager and Price. Now,
well, they got 2 or 3 guys at that position ahead of me in recruiting. Right. They always go there in the portal. So I'm 4th or 5th at the depth chart walking on campus.
So I'm redshirted even if I come in and I got to do something extraordinary. And let's be honest, in preseason in practices, you're probably not going to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
But now with the 5 for 5, maybe that helps them win some recruiting battles because now you can have a true plan for you for 5 years or let's just say 3 years that you're going to play. You might not play as much minutes as you would like at, say at a lower level school, but you're going to play here and then eventually you'll be able to bite into those minutes and then then you'll, it won't be a redshirt year. And so you'll be more engaged. And so when you think about, in particular, at Janowski, what that could have done that year and with Frager, I think it bodes well for teams like Nebraska. It gives you, it expands your roster. It gives you a little bit more flexibility, but I think it increases your recruiting profile because you're able to offer more while you're trying to, get up there with the Blue Bloods. And so what I don't think it really affects like the Michigan States and all those because they're recruiting, they're shopping at a different, grocery store and those guys are going there and they have guys that are coming there that are going to play in, a big role right out of the gate. So I like it. I like it for Nebraska more than more established teams because I think we can be the benefactor of some of their problems.
The other aspect that I don't think has been talked about a lot with this is from the upperclassmen role player angle, right? The upperclassmen that are around for 3.5, 4 years, maybe into their 5th year because they don't have pro prospects. Okay, those guys are starting. They're on the court. So be it. But the guys that come to mind, like a Cale Jacobson or a Connor Seaton on this current roster,
Next year, they might not be on the roster.
Right. But I think when you think about for this coming season, a Colin Rice or a Jacob Lanier, guys like that, maybe even DeGorvo comes in as mostly a bench player from San Diego State. Maybe in years past, those are 12 to 18 minute per game guys, right? That's their role. And Cale played a bit more, obviously, toward the end of the year. I think Asijan's better in small doses, break glass in case of emergency to go back to that. But, Jay, I do think that as much as we talk about the young guys having to sacrifice their hopes and dreams of being on the court and contributing in a big way a lot of times, I think there's going to have to be some tough conversations from coaches with some of their veterans. Hey, I know you've gotten used to playing 15 a game, but with 5 for 5, now it might be 10 because we need to get a look at these freshmen. Now, it won't be every year, like you said, case by case. But if Connor Seaton's in a shooting slump, do you give him 15 minutes to shoot his way out of it? Or do you say, hey, we have the ability to go to Lanier for 5 minutes, see what he's picked up in practice, see if he can provide some offense, see what he looks like in live action. I think obviously we talk a lot for good reason about, for lack of a better phrase, massaging the egos of the freshmen, making sure they're on board with the plan all year long. You got to do that with veterans now moving forward, I think, especially the bit role player type guys.
Yeah, you got to have that conversation, but then also at the end of the season, you have to have tough conversations that even though they are viable players, kind of like what they had to have with Jamarcus Lawrence,
Sure.
We're moving on, we'll still keep in contact. But sometimes guys that have been in the program and been decent players might be kind of, minute pushed out, after that season. And so during the season or before the season, you got to say, hey, look, your minutes might be cut.
Yeah.
Because it's the way it is. You're okay with it. I think they have a good team and teammates down there, so I think it'd be fine. But more importantly, you have guys that maybe have been around for 3 or 4 years that you push them onto bigger and better roles because they, as they've eaten into those 15 minutes per game. Now you're going to, the juice worth the squeeze or how much we're paying you to come back and play 5 minutes a game probably isn't viable. So that's where it hurts. It hurts it hurts those type of kind of, better role players. And then also, I wouldn't say it hurts the more established teams, but I think they're not able to have as much control. Whereas, you say you're a really good player, freshman, and say the position in need, it comes down to Nebraska and say, I don't know, like Michigan State. Well, you might just only go to Michigan State and play 12 minutes a game. Normally with the redshirt, that's great, right? Well, you can come to Nebraska and play like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Well, also Nebraska wins a couple recruiting battles, over some more established programs, and then you're off to the races. And so I think it's the more you embrace it, the better you can take advantage of it, and you have to have a plan for it, and I think Nebraska will.
And, okay, different sports, and I'm not trying to just harp on one player, but it's the example that always comes to mind for me for young guys that get playing time early, and then that's who they are, Turner Corcoran. I'm going to be really fascinated to see, Jay, for every sport, obviously football, but also for basketball, both the men's and women's program, even maybe volleyball at that level, potentially baseball and softball with the 5-for-5. If they're freshmen that get on the field, they get playing time, show a little bit of something, and that's who they are, right? Was Turner Corcoran's development stunted by playing early? Probably not, but it seems like he was the same player at the end of his career that he was at the start of his career. And so I think when you think about development, that nebulous term in 5-for-5, there can be a lot of benefit to coming in and getting actual in-game on-court reps in terms of knowing what the speed of the game is like, what the expectation is, what the standard is, speed of the game, and all that. But I also think that there might be some times where more patience is needed just because there's not the red shirt like we've gotten used to. It doesn't change the fact that you now just have a free year where if you're there, you can play. But I hope there's less, I don't want to say shame or stigma, but you mentioned it yesterday, going back home, oh, I redshirted. Are you really that good?
But
now hey, I actually got to play 6 minutes a game as a freshman. I'm the first freshman to do that. And I wonder how teams are going to handle that. If there's a big developmental boost for Nebraska and being able to get those freshmen on the court early, or if Nebraska would still be better served by not forcing freshmen onto the court just to see what they've got and saying, hey, be patient, trust the process, trust the plan, like they have been.
I think with Turner, I think it did hurt him to plan that early. And the reason because, Brendan Hymas was there. He opted early, for the NFL.
Farniok was there.
And then once he played and he played well, but then you threw him out there, then it was like, all right, now these expectations went crazy. And he was never able to truly develop.
Well, it's kind of the worry for Riley Van Poppel on the other side of the ball right now.
But I think Turner needed to get bigger, right? And the offensive line is harder. And I think Riley was ready, though. His technique was coming out of high school. I mean, I was like, he didn't stick out like a freshman. I mean, he kind of blended in really well. But I think for Turner, he never – like if you make that's a crucial decision that you make sometimes. Was it Cody Green?
Yeah.
Quarterback?
Yeah, quarterback.
You pulled him out like 6th game of the year against Oklahoma, backed up on the 2. You never kind of get out of the starting blocks because the clock is just in warp speed. And then with Turner, he maybe needed – so say here's an example. Say he weighed 290, but he probably really is walking around weight. It's probably like 275. He had to work really hard as a developing young man at 18 years old or whatever, fresh out of high school to hold that 290. That means you're eating like right before you weigh in, right?
Yeah.
But then you get a whole year to actually develop, and then the next year you can
walk around to 285.
And the next year you can still develop. Then the third year, your body you're not putting all the weight on your bones. You're maybe not have as many injuries. So I think it does hurt sometimes. And I think hopefully this will allow the coaches to make best decisions for the player in short term and long term. And I think he's a good example. But then how you manage it at other sports, especially with volleyball, Nebraska is recruiting and attracting. Jalen Reyes says it. Matter of fact, I know 2 young ladies that they're recruiting because I went to high school with their dad. You know what I mean? And the Hengler sisters, and they are for real. But you got to manage that. That's the type of look. Everybody in the nation wants them. They're no different than Rottenberg, and they all play on the same team on that little 19 other team. Not little, but the like the other team. So it's going to be more taxing for them because you're look, you can't say, oh, well, you're going to sit here and just be practice player. I'm not a player.
Nope.
I got to get in the game, and you got to have a way to get me in the game and in a process. And so for the people that have been eating in filet mignon, now the people that have been eating the cube steaks like I used to get in college, you're going to get a little taste of that now. So ideally, and so what you do with it.
Might be up to the tenderloin level and maybe down to the prime rib level, but
it's a great way to level up. This helps the middle pack greatly, in my opinion, if it's attacked right.
Well, I said that yesterday. I mean, I think the bulk of the playing time for the bulk of programs across the country are going to be 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year players.
And just
a
imagine
guess,
if you're
but-
here, you're a young guy, you came in and you play a little bit in year one, or like let's just say year 0, right?
Mhm.
And then you play a little bit in year 1. You make a great step in year 2, which is
Mhm.
actually your 3rd year. But then say like a big transfer portal guy falls in your lap. Say you're at Michigan and they just say, Dustin May's like, hey, look, man, you're a good player. You got to be patient. This is like a national championship team.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, you play your role.
Trey McKinney
or something. Well, I'm going to Duke. I'm not sitting here anymore and trusting you because I've been here for 3 years. That's where you're going to see teams that are able to, and Duke wouldn't have to do it, but like a Louisville or somebody, they go get a guy that was
Virginia,
right, that they normally wouldn't have gotten, lost in the original recruitment.
Yep.
They get them, and then next thing you know, their program's turned around. Or even, say you even go to a Virginia Tech or somebody. Say the assistant coach at Kentucky or somebody that came in second is the head coach at Virginia Tech or something.
Yeah.
Now he's got his ace in the hole player based on this 5 for 5 in the guys that have been the established teams that don't benefit from it.
The college basketball example that stands out to me is your boy Jay Lucas down at Miami.
Oh yeah,
brought Shelton Henderson with him. He was the lead recruiter for the Boozers as well. Wasn't able to flip them kind of at the last minute. But Shelton Henderson was probably a top 15 freshman in all college basketball. Certainly has work to do, but saw the writing on the wall. Hey, I'm not playing this year. I'm going to redshirt. What does he do? Follows one of the best recruiters, one of the best young up-and-coming coaches in the country, down to Coral Gables, plays a key role, starts pretty much all year as a freshman, and his stock just elevates.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's, like I said, those middle-road teams, those up-and-coming teams, and Miami's a great example where they had that Larinaga, a few years, and then now kind of trying to find their way. Now they're back up with Lucas. They're going to benefit the most out of it.
Yeah.
And that's where Nebraska, basketball and football, you could throw baseball in there, really can make some hay.
Completely agree. All right, we'll go to break. We'll come back with a short segment wrapping up hour 2. Full third hour of Old School on the way from Wings and Rings Customer Appreciation Day. We'll wrap up hour 2 next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us this Friday, June 26th from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings for their Customer Appreciation Day. Both boneless and traditional wings are just 50 cents each all day long. Plus, they'll have signups for free wings for a year and more. Come hang out with 93.7 The Ticket on Friday, June 26th from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and L.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close-up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, owner of A1 Automotive. I want to personally thank you, our customers, for trusting us with your vehicle repair needs. Your support allows us to do what we love, serving people through quality automotive repair. If you're looking for a repair shop that values relationships as much as repairs, we'd love the opportunity to earn your trust. We have 2 locations here in Lincoln, 1117 L Street, 5110 State Hill Drive, and our newest location in Seward, Nebraska, 408 Main Street. Come see us. Visit us online at a1autolincoln.com.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This summer, as the world watches the pitch, Raising Cane's is serving up the best matches all tournament long, like chicken fingers and cane sauce. No matter who you're rooting for this summer, kick it with Cane's for the games. One love.
Arctic Spas is brand new to Lincoln, and you're invited to the grand opening. Stop by Arctic Spas between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. this Saturday, June 27th, for a grand opening party featuring free food, drinks, prizes, giveaways, a cold plunge contest, and a chance to win a free Blackstone grill. Bring 2 cans of food for the food bank for additional entries for free prizes. Bring your swimsuit to jump in and try out their giant swim spa. It's the grand opening at Arctic Spas from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Saturday, June 27th at 5601 South 56th Street, Suite 5.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Transform your watch party into a full fan experience. Benny's Battle Barge from Arbor Axe House is the mobile axe throwing trailer designed for fans who want more than just to watch from the sidelines. Step into a lane and go head-to-head while the game plays on screen. It's safe, fun, and perfect for groups who take their sports and their competition seriously. Upgrade your fan headquarters today. Charter the barge at arbораxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket.
That's right. Welcome back in to Old School. One final time for Hour 2. Big thanks to Schwezo Construction for helping sponsor the show. At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back both on and off the job site. Apply today at Schwezo.com. 40-plus years strong in business, Schwezo Construction. Pretty cool thing going on in the Vatican, Jay. A.J. Pierzynski, starting catcher for the 2005 Chicago White Sox, got to meet the Pope and deliver the baseball that was used to record the final out of Game 1 of the 2005 World Series that the Pope happened to be attending.
Yeah, and the Pope was the White Sox fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you never would generally give those away. I don't even know if I'd give it to a president, but you give it to the Pope. Pope
supersedes a little bit.
That's a close thing to God right there. So, you go get some good fortune, good health from that, man. So,
as a Lutheran, I do not recognize papal authority, but I get your point.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a pretty cool thing, just to meet the Pope or be in the presence of it, just see him. Like if if he's somewhere, it's obviously a big deal. So, get in that close proximity to do that, that's obviously a big deal. And obviously with AJ, that just kind of fits his deal. That's just him.
Which one of the Knicks players was it that had the game ball from Game 4 or Game 5 that had it taken away, or people want to take it away so they can sell it like the merch company? I think it was Hart or Anunoby, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Hart, and they probably just gaffled it from him. But remember, was it the Knicks when they took Giannis's ball and he went in the locker room?
What was that? Yeah. Because it was some dude's. It was a Pacers, I think.
It was the Pacers.
Yeah, it was some kid's first bucket.
Yeah,
Giannis's record.
Yeah, Giannis's record. And he went in the locker.
Chased him down.
Yeah, man. It's
forgot about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on. It's pretty cool that he did that, and we'll see what happens from there.
Let's say, hypothetically, you would have finished your career in Minnesota with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
You would have won a Super Bowl, and you ended up with the game ball. Would you have given it to Prince?
Man, that's tough. I would have to get that. I'd ask Chuck Foreman for that because I would definitely would win in our trophy case. But I think he might have made an exception for Prince. I probably would, yeah.
Probably Prince? That's the standard?
But I would have to present it to him at his concert or something. We can't just be doing it at like at this lounge or something.
Yeah, not down at the steakhouse or anything. No. This is on Front Street.
Yeah, you know what? You know how I could benefit all that? I'll be winning. Like Michael Oerman said, "Did you see me on? I'd tell her. You see me on stage with Prince? Yeah, that's my boy." yeah, it would be. Yeah, I'll probably do it with Prince, man. It's crazy that he's gone, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Played an iconic Super Bowl halftime show, and the Colts have not won a Super Bowl since. So I blame Prince's passing for the Colts' misfortunes.
Man,
probably not fair of me to do.
I know.
Here's the thing: they won it in Miami too. So I have Miami to blame, and I have Prince to blame. Me and the J. Foreman bloodlines are at war with my NFL fandom right now.
I know. I got to get.
Plus, Houston's been better than Indy, so.
But I don't know that how much longer though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Slew-footed slinger to get it going.
We'll see. All right, let's go back to another break here very quickly. Come back with us, though, Hour 3 of Old School on the other side.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Arctic Spas is brand new to Lincoln, and you're invited to the grand opening. Stop by Arctic Spas between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. this Saturday, June 27th, for a grand opening party featuring free food, drinks, prizes, giveaways, a cold plunge contest, and a chance to win a free Blackstone grill. Bring 2 cans of food for the food bank for additional entries for free prizes. Bring your swimsuit to jump in and try out their giant swim spa. It's the grand opening at Arctic Spas from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Saturday, June 27th at 5601 South 56th Street, Suite 5.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue
barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. We're serving up a $5.99 meal deal that includes a one-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side, and a drink, all for just $5.99. Craving brisket? Upgrade to our tender, slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Join us for lunch or dinner, or order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Oerman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Hour 3, man, it went by quick. We're Old School. We are live out here at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O Street. It's Customer Appreciation Day. 50-cent boneless wings and traditional wings all day. That is right, 50 cents, excuse me.
50 cent works too.
Yeah,
maybe he'll have an appearance today.
Right?
Wouldn't that be a collab?
And then you can sign up for prizes like 5 free wings per week for the rest of the year. No purchase necessary. So if you can't make it out to 68th and O Street, they're also having the same promotion at 48th and Old Cheney. Great food, beer, prizes, sports talk. We're out here. But also want to give a shout out to Graham Tire right next door. It's the next door neighbor. I've been serving the Midwest for 75 years. 4 locations here in the great city of Lincoln. Look them up, GrahamTireOfLincoln.com, and tell them Old School sent you, in particular Austin and or Jay Foreman sent you, and they definitely will hook you up. So, Austin, what we've been doing is hooking everybody up with some sports talk. Obviously, as we're getting closer and closer to next week, once we get to July, it is football time 100% of the time. I think Nebraska just came out with the 3 young gentlemen that are going to the Big Ten Media Days. Obviously, Justin Evans, Lyndon Meyer, and Marshall. Good representation, older players, seasoned players, been around the program. And so, obviously, everybody else is going to be, starting to market who's going out there to represent their teams. New location this year, a newer location. Generally been in Indy, was in Vegas last year. It's in Chicago this year. We'll see how that goes. But ultimately, it's, football time. The magazines and the lists to start coming out. But more importantly, right now, with Nebraska, with July 4th looking next week after a full month of recruiting, it's a dead period for recruiting. The coaches can't really do anything. I'm sure that the players get a little bit of a break and they're going back for however long. This is the most crucial time. I did a post about this on my YouTube channel. This is the most crucial time, and I'll bring in high school kids as well. So if you're local parents or if you're family members of your son or daughters that are going to be playing fall sports or any sports coming up in this next year for high school, along with football player, college football players, pro players as well. This is the most crucial time of this 2026 season. I don't think people really put, I always talk about the the middle 12.
Yeah.
And people say, the 2 minutes going in. Now it's expanded, 12 or 8 or whatever you want to call it, 4 minutes before halftime, 4 minutes after. I call it 6 and 6. This is something that people need to really start to study to how to really gain momentum in this month of late June through July. Because, you had spring ball, whether it was early or late, you kind of work hard. First of all, you got to finish up school. Then you get kind of back into football mode, and then you get a little bit of a break. And if you lose your momentum, both individually and collectively, and this goes for high school kids as well, it could come back to bite you in the butt in the first, 2 or 3 weeks in the season. And what's the most important the thing to a successful season? You got to get off to a good start. You got to get that winning momentum, especially for Nebraska or a team like Nebraska. You play in the non-con, you expect to go undefeated, but you not only do you want to go undefeated, you got to pass the eye test, and the eye test isn't just running the score up late. You have to pass the legitimate walk-by test. So if they walk by a game and decided to watch those 3 weeks, you're seeing things that are winning football foundation and types: physicality, communication, low penalties, execution. And for us, tackling well, then you can dive into third down and all that stuff. And then, we're hiding, a few plays for Michigan State, so forth and so on, because you want to have that momentum. And it starts in June or late June and July.
So this is the middle 12 of the offseason.
Yeah.
Got to win it.
It's the most important. It is because, look, Coach Osborne used to tell us the work that we did in the spring and through right here, this kind of is like your first, first 4 games, right? And then what you do, after that, then that's your middle season. And what you do through fall camp and the beginning of the season, continue to work hard, that gives you the juice to finish strong. That's how we finish strong. That's why we punish people. So if you go home and you kind of relax and and that's great. If I went back to Minnesota and got to see friends I hadn't seen, maybe my body's changed. And then you kind of get into 4th of July, because 4th of July starts way before the 4th. And then you let that kind of boil over into like July 8th.
It takes a day or two to get back into it once you get to campus.
Yeah, so now you're at July
too
8th,
late.
right? And so then now you start to feel the pressure. And that's where you see guys that kind of dread going into camp, right? Versus, looking forward to it. Because ultimately, no matter what level you're at football-wise, it's hard in the summer. It's hot. It's going to be hard. If you're high school, you're going through, I don't know if they're allowed to have 2-a-days, but you're having hot practices.
2-a-days, camps. You got to put on a show, all that stuff.
You're sore. You're not doing anything. Football or college, you're doing the same thing. And in the pros. So really, you thinking about training camp is going to be hard, that's actually to be the last thing that should be on your mind, because that's a known factor. So I think the biggest thing that, fans, I'd probably, tell fans, we saw Brad from Baldwin that came in. And then, we had Travis and everybody else. Really, I think if fans would take the emotion out of it, let's just deal with the facts this year. This is our thing. We're gonna deal with the facts, because the facts are, it's hard, right?
So are we gonna call our show "We Talk Facts"?
No, negative. We ain't gonna do that. We get messed around. Stricky was mad about them spices. We mess around, get a cease and desist or thing on it real quick. I'm just saying, I think the facts, if you deal with the facts as a player, it's going to be hot. It's going to be, look, we go to Iowa, it's going to be cold, right? We might not get any calls. We're in for a dolphin. Those are facts. So once you kind of get that emotional, attachment to those out of your system, you can actually operate. And then hopefully that'll allow you to focus in this crucial time. Because if you lose say like a guy needed to really, for instance, I'll say this. Okay, there was a player during the Scott Frost era that played linebacker, that played a lot here, right? And I remember talking to him, and I was talking to him about his weight, right? And he was a starter, so he was really, really focused, all right, I'm out there. I said, listen, dude, if you're telling me you wanted to go to pros, you go to the pro. Well, this is what the pro, guys are at your position. I played it, right? And
for a long time.
Right. And so if you do well here and get your weight up to 225, but then you go home and you come back at 215, okay, here's the problem that you're not thinking of. Yeah, you can get it up here. Here's the problem. You're losing trust, because they need to trust you when you're at home. But then more importantly, when the pro scouts come in, because I was a scout, they're going to look at, okay, what's your weight? Because they're trying to see, did you build it up through those 4 years, or you're a guy that kind of fluctuates, because they're trying to really guesstimate and estimate how much they can trust you. Can they trust you in the off season? Well, this is the off season. So that's why it's important.
Did they give you babysitters in the NFL to make sure you're doing everything you're supposed to?
But you know what they gave you? This piece of paper when you got fined. If you didn't make weight, right? If you were too underweight or overweight, you got fined. As a matter of fact, they just sent you a receipt. Thank you from your check, right? And
for your records,
right? So for your records, for your accounting, we're gonna make sure you send this to your accountant. But that's why it's important, man, because for the Nebraska players that probably hit the weights, remember Jamal Rule came in as an early enrollee. I mean, he changed his body, and you got to continue to do that. For all the other ones that need to get bigger, faster, and stronger, if you don't continue that process while you're away from the program, not only you're to me that's a definition of a selfish teammate.
Sure.
Because everybody thinks selfish is like, when Terrell Owens be like, or not be like, well, let me get the talk correctly. When he was on the sidelines and throw me the ball, remember Keyshawn, he's viewed as selfish. Sure, in somewhat is, but he knows he's good enough. He wants the ball. I want somebody that wants the ball. To me, I'm more worried and angry at a teammate that you need is a big part of your team. And then he goes and selfishly decides, all right, I'm going to chill for a little while, right? Because I'm comfortable. I know I'm going to be there because I kind of been there. It's like grandfathered into this position.
What's coach going to do? Not play me?
Yeah, he played me last year.
Yeah.
Right? I know the system. So
it's a new coach, but I came with him.
So that's where you can't get fixated on the small things, right? Or, and the black shirt is huge, but you've been in a kind of grandfather in the black shirt because if you really were facing good competition, I guarantee you, when you go back home, right now, if you go back home, I guarantee you ain't letting your weight slip. Because now let's look at the linebacker position. I'll let you get in here. Okay, look at Shavers, right? Okay, Chambliss is going to start, and he's going to play majority of the minutes. So just put him in here. So whoever's playing behind him, you already know you're playing backup minutes, no matter what they say, right? Right? But he's earned it, right? And Rob trusts or trusts him, right? And he was productive at San Diego State. So let's just put him in there.
Yeah.
But you think Foster, Shavers, Merritt, okay? And I'm assuming like the money isn't so different for one of them that it's like I have it. Okay, the contract gonna have me out there. Forget it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've been on the other side of that,
Sure.
right? So them three. So when they go home, right? Sure, you get a couple of days to kind of chill a little bit, rest up, but every day's a work day because if you're not competing with the known competitors, what can you do against the guys that you don't know who's coming? And that's why July is huge.
I think that linebacker position is fascinating to take those three guys because I would guess that the ultimate results and the ultimate grading are probably pretty close, on any given day. But for Shavers, it's explosiveness, physical ability. For Foster, it's production, having been there and done it before. And for Merritt, it's pedigree.
Yeah,
and potential.
Yeah.
And so for those three guys, they're probably playing at a comparable level. I doubt there's much separation between them, especially now. So step one, obviously, step right on the field to get on the field. But I think your point, what can you do now while you're not in practice? Which one of those guys comes back closest to target weight?
Right.
Which one of those guys has added, X amount to different lifts? Which of these guys can rattle off the plays a little bit faster,
right.
In case they have to be a green dot? Who's getting other guys lined up a little bit better? That all shows up on the field. Who's going to class more? Whose grades are better? That sort of thing. Who's more responsive to coach? Who's showing up, 3 minutes before the other one? Little things that, are rounding errors maybe, or they're within the same realm, but you're 0.1, notches better here. You're 2 notches better here. That adds up in the long run. So if you're close on the field, to your point, I think we've seen it with coaches all the time. Sure, they'll have their guys, but I think most coaches would also show a willingness to say, if it's close on the field, I'm going to go with the guy that's done more of those little things right.
Who do you trust more? And you got to think about it with their skill set. You got to actually recognize who you are, where you fit in, and what role you have to play. So let's just look at them like this, right? So Chambliss has played a lot of snaps and been pretty durable. Foster was a young kid that played. Look at little man right there.
Hey, Bubba.
Little Austin Oerman right there. Where you have like Foster, who was a freshman, played significant plays, was productive, got a little banged up, right, at Oregon State. So now your job is like, okay, I got to build my body up so I'm durable. I can match it, right? But then I got to be that middle linebacker thumper because that's what he looks like and that's what he plays like, downhill, rock 'em steady. Then you have Shavers, who has the explosiveness and the potential and the closing ability, but he's shown it on a small doses and needs to become more consistent. How do you become more consistent? That means you got to be in better shape. That means mentally you got to be in better shape. That means you have to work on your weaknesses, or whatever they are, whether it's communication, taking the lead of the defense, so you can play, at your highest level, and you have stiffer competition in there.
Mhm.
Also, then you have Merritt, who probably has probably the best acumen out of all of them. He's been around pro sports his whole life, or NFL football, and playing with the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
And so he knows, coverages and defenses a lot better than everybody. Just natural. He's seen it so many times.
You talked about the dinner table
Right,
conversation.
the dinner table, just been in there. He's been around great players. He's been around, so he knows what it's like to play in a big game. So the moment's not too big. Now for him, he has to be healthy, because now he has to be able to play. He has to have position flexibility. So for him, he's got to get on the field. He's got to know his position that they kind of start him at. He's got to know the other two, because he has probably the most flexibility about all of them. He's probably built up enough that he can play against the run, and so his body's not a factor against him. But he has the best explosiveness and closing ability, and obviously play entry, as we've seen it, right?
Sure.
Right, where he plays it good. He's a knee bender. He's a waist bender as well, so he can get down and get low. Got good flexion in his ankles. So that's why it's so important right now for those three, along with Chambliss, because you want to look. He's coming in with I don't put much in the EA Sports, but a highly ranked and highly thought of player. You've seen the different stuff in pass coverage. You've seen where Sipple on the early break had talked about, and we've talked about as well. So he has a different type of pressure. He actually has to be very, very productive. He has to get better, right, at certain things, because he got to adjust his game to Big Ten, and then also he has to be a leader.
Yeah.
Because by seniority he's the leader, but also by the paycheck he's the leader. So he has his July is a little bit different, right? And then obviously the other three got to fit in there as well. And then more importantly, when they come back to camp, the thing that I would be looking for as a linebacker coach, how much have you retained? Because I don't have time to hold your hand anymore.
I don't care that it's the first year in the
Right.
new defense. I don't care that I just met you, a few months ago. You got to know your stuff.
I shouldn't have to overcoach you in the first 3 or 4 walkthroughs, because now we're trying to put in maybe some line stunts, some adjustments, the basics. You guys should be able to, roll the ball out there and get busy. So that's going to be the separator in July, because not only do you have to be in the weight room and running, you got to be in your playbook. It's there. We're literally at your fingertips with your phone and computer or whatever. So you got to put the time in, and there's no structure, because if you're back home for a week or 2 or 3, you gotta survive on your own.
The other thing you've talked about a lot is when different games are won. You've said your non-con is usually won in spring ball.
Yeah.
How much do you pick up? Are you on the same page? You have your basic stuff
It's your
down.
foundation.
It's your foundation. Okay. So then if this is the middle 12 of the offseason, let's say that translates to the middle 12 of the season. The middle 4 games of the schedule for Nebraska, Jay: Maryland, Indiana, at Oregon, and Washington, with a bye week in there.
That makes or breaks you right there.
And you can even throw the Illinois game in there to start November. So, throw the middle 5 games, if you will, there. Those are games that Nebraska is going to need this time, this conditioning, that discipline to win. Maryland gave you everything they could handle last year. Yeah, it was on the road. Yeah, it was a freshman quarterback. And yeah, they fade in October. But guess what? They probably haven't faded yet. They probably have a winning feeling coming to Lincoln. Indiana. Oh, I don't know. Last year's national champions, right?
Yeah.
They're carrying themselves with confidence. You go to Oregon after facing the defending champs. Okay, then you get a bye week against a dangerous Washington team that has its sights pretty high, and an Illinois team that's not going to back down from you. Obviously, a short
And that's
week.
a
You're used to that
Friday
game,
night-
Friday
Friday
night
night, yeah.
game as well, national TV and all that. And so if you think about the schedule in the same way you think about the offseason, this is where Nebraska is going to give itself a chance or take itself out of these 5 games potentially.
Yeah. And then also, even before that, the spring is, your first quarter of the season or third of your season. And that's where you got to do a really good job in non-con. That means that's where your discipline comes from. That's where you're able to wear guys out. That's where your physicality that you'd like to develop in the spring is there, separated, because that's just how you live, right? And then you're lifting and all this other stuff, and then you're able, that middle part, if you're looking at it right now, just on paper, if you can go 2 for 2, you're really doing, you're cooking with some good peanut oil, because you're assuming right there coming out of that, you're 4-0. So you're 6-2, I think, going into that last 4 of Illinois, Rutgers, Ohio State, at Iowa. You feel real good where you're at. And then you're thinking okay, now we're playing with house money. And then what did I talk about before? How do you deal with success? You're potentially 6-2. Then what do you do when you're looking down the barrel at a Friday night game on the road, is Nebraska at Illinois, that you should win, could win, and have to win to keep it going after beating Washington, right?
On a game that's probably going to be incredibly hyped up. I mean,
Right.
the Halloween game, you don't get many of those. It's probably going to be a blackout after a bye week.
Well, we haven't done well. You beat them right at night, short week, no excuses. Now you get patted on the back. Now you got to really stop it. You got to turn your phone off. You got to get ready because it's really Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Because then you got to avoid what happened on the short week at Minnesota last year.
Because then you're on the road Thursday, and then it's game time. Hayes in the barn on Friday night, right? And then you got to deal with that. Then you have to think, okay, we have a winnable game the next week at Rutgers, sleepy out there in Piscataway, but you got to still win, right? And you got to think, in your mind has to not only wander, the imagination for this team has to be great in July, because you think about this right here. You got to think, okay, Illinois came in at Big Ten Media Day. You felt like they were going to make a run last year. A little bit of a letdown, right? Yeah. Right, especially with the quarterback that they had. A little bit you got to expect they're going to be better, right? You have to expect that they're going to be the second year of the coordinator. They're going to be back to old Illinois, right? And they've been recruiting well. Yeah. And then the same thing with Rutgers. You think that Schiano's not going to have his team ready?
Yeah, right.
And they've had a couple of really good recruiting classes. He's developed the right way. He's got a little bit more money NIL wise. So you got to think they're going to be ready. So you got to take their best shot. That's why in July, or late June, July, that's why it's the most important, because this is when the times get tough and you handle your business in that middle part of the season. That means playing Ohio State at home when it should be cold, and you were playing well against them, and it'll probably be a nationally televised game. That game's easy. You're not as sore. Right. Then you get to go to Iowa. Then though your whole mindset changes. So when you're thinking about, like, if you don't want to be like, woe is me, we got a Friday night game, then we played a couple tough games on the road and all that stuff, and then we got a night game and all that other stuff, or night game, or potentially against Washington, Friday night game on the road, again. So you think, okay, here we go again. Well, you handle your business this summer, it makes that start to the season even better, and then it makes that middle part manageable. Then you're like, all of a sudden you got more energy. Yeah. All of a sudden you're finishing more games. But it starts right now. That's why there is no days off, because once you're a football player, this is an investment, man. This is not rest time. I would say this, man, and I've been thinking about this. Football is the only team sport you can't play. Like, you just play. Play. The individual sport that you can't do that's in boxing or MMA. You will get put to sleep, because that's why when you see boxers, it's the road work. It's the stuff that you're doing. It's a sacrifice when you're in camp. It's no different with them. When boxers go out to, was it Big Bear in California and all that stuff? They're out there, and I think Bud's went up there a couple times.
So.
You're isolated, and you come out of camp, you're refreshed, and you see what Bud's done. You have to make the sacrifice. So that's why this part of the year is so huge for this team. It's going to be interesting to see how it's attacked. We don't know. We will find out. You know what I'm saying? Because the facts will be the facts. I mean, they could work all hard and still lose, but it gives you the chance to win. And that's what they need. They need to give themselves more chances to win, do the more winning things, and they'll be just fine.
Like you said, nothing's ever promised in football except the opportunity to work.
No. I mean, you couldn't have told me that there was a way that we were going to lose to Texas, flew on the team at all. Right? I mean, so you got to go out there and play the game. It can happen. There are things that can happen that can work in your favor. That's why I don't ever believe in worrying about the schedule and trying to schedule our way into a good season versus going and doing what we need to do. So anyways, this is Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Once again, we're out here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Excuse me. I almost made a colossal mistake.
We're going wild out here at Wings and Rings.
Yeah, Wings and Rings, 68th and O Street. We're going to take a quick break on Customer Appreciation Day. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Arctic Spas is brand new to Lincoln, and you're invited to the grand opening. Stop by Arctic Spas between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. this Saturday, June 27th, for a grand opening party featuring free food, drinks, prizes, giveaways, a cold plunge contest, and a chance to win a free Blackstone grill. Bring 2 cans of food for the food bank for additional entries for free prizes. Bring your swimsuit to jump in and try out their giant swim spa. It's the grand opening at Arctic Spas from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Saturday, June 27th at 5601 South 56th Street, Suite 5.
This summer, as the world watches the pitch, Raising Cane's is serving up the best matches all tournament long, like chicken fingers and cane sauce. No matter who you're rooting for this summer, pick it with Canes for the games. One love.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish back shelf bar, enjoy a healthy, family-friendly menu, and catch all your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets, located on 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
New from Arbor Axe House comes Benny's Battle Barge, the mobile axe throwing adventure. Perfect for festivals, parties, fundraisers, and celebrations. Charter the barge at arboraxe.com or call Arbor Axe House at 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, owner of A1 Automotive. I want to personally thank you, our customers, for trusting us with your vehicle repair needs. Your support allows us to do what we love, serving people through quality automotive repair. If you're looking for a repair shop that values relationships as much as repairs, we'd love the opportunity to earn your trust. We have 2 locations here in Lincoln, 1117 L Street, 5110 State Hill Drive, and our newest location in Seward, Nebraska, 408 Main Street. Come see us, visit us online at a1autolincoln.com.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves. We would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate again. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios at 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Once again, we're live out here at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O Street. Once again, it's Customer Appreciation Day. 50 cent boneless and traditional wings all day, all night. Also, it is going on at their second location at 48th and Old Cheney. So also there's a chance that you can sign up for a prize where you win 5 free wings per week for a whole year. That's a pretty good deal.
We should probably do that drawing in our final segment. Is what we should probably do.
I'm down with that. Somebody's going to be a lucky person.
Player with DP, but let's tentatively plan on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put my name in there. But Austin, we talked about how important July is as far as the good things, as far as, getting ready for the season. But also we'll tell you like this, and it's also part of like what we said, in the prior segment, is that I call this the negative part is the idiot time. And I've seen it in the NFL. I'll get into, more like any NFL, but college as well. I've seen guys leave like June minicamp and come back like 25 pounds overweight.
Whoops.
Like I'm serious.
How hard do you have to try to get 25 pounds overweight?
Well, they're not trying to do it, but they're just living it. Like they're just giving it like they don't really care. Right. I've seen guys do that. I've seen guys make great strides, but I've also seen guys not pass. I always talk about the idiot test, and I'm not a big name caller and stuff, but I think you got to be pretty dumb to two things: go to the combine, the NFL combine, as an incoming college player, and fail the weed test.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly the week that is going. You got your invitation early, probably later in your senior year.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to prepare for it, which is don't smoke weed. And
stay off the weed.
And you commence to continue to do it, and you're act like they're not going to catch you. They will catch you. It's the same thing right now, where don't be an idiot right now, is two things. Don't go out there and do something that's going to jeopardize your season, or in particular your career, getting in trouble, getting in fights and all that, because you have free time, some money, and a little bit of aura about you. But more importantly, don't show up to training camp and be somewhat suspended because you can't pass the street drug test. They know it's within the first couple weeks of training camp. Realistically, it's about day 5 through 8, because the first 3 or 4 days is just like everybody's just kind of, you're getting all your I's dotted, T's crossed. You having 1 or 2 practices. You ain't
make sure everyone's here.
Yeah, you ain't made no moves yet.
Nope.
Contracts are done, so we will make sure we get everybody tested, and then once some position groups going, you there, like they're not leaving and coming back.
No,
they're coming there to test everybody, during a certain amount of time. And some guys would just do it. The funny thing about it, I definitely won't name any names. It was and I was a younger player, and I never seen anything like this in my life. I remember, and I would never had to worry about it, because I was like, all right, I'll go do it. It's more inconvenience,
right.
Especially as they started to intensify the testing. That means here's to intensify the testing. So when I took it the first time, when I was a rookie, you just go into the bathroom and you could go in there and lock the door. Well, then I don't know if you remember, they had the running back for the Vikings, actually from Oregon, that had the Whizzinator. I don't know if you
That's
remember
right.
that?
I don't remember the name,
His
but
name
yeah,
was Omar something,
okay.
right? I think it was Omar Smith or something like that.
Gotcha.
So he got jammed up with the Whizzinator, right? It was funny when it happened, but what it did was it made the NFL, change the way they did the testing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, therefore, you couldn't have the door locked, right? And then guys found a way to work around that, have like little devices. Well, then it got to
that's
the
just
point,
doing the most. That's just trying too hard.
Well, when you would literally get fined, probably game checked for it.
I'm just saying that's a lot more work than just like not doing it, right?
Well, when I don't know if you're addicted to it, or you think you know what they
become
think.
a habit.
You know what they think. They're like, one more day ain't that big a deal.
Right. It'll clear.
Yeah, after
Drink
July,
more water.
After July 4th, well, then that leads to, oh, man, all right, I'm 2 days in. Maybe then they head to GNC.
I'll wait till Friday.
Or then they go to GNC. Then they start to panic. And then you get to the point like, bump it. I know I ain't going to pass it. I'm going to keep doing it. Well, then it intensified it after that.
Mm-hmm.
Where literally they would be right there, down there where the action was happening. Yes, not just leaning. They would be like down there by the toilet, man. So, really at this point, don't be an idiot because they will catch you.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way around these tests. And the funny thing about it, I remember being a younger player, not even worried about it, just go do it. It's more because, you didn't want to be late for it because you're late for it. You're late to meetings. You're late for meetings, you get fined, right? Because they told us, like, hey, look, this is when it's happening. Don't jack around in the lounge or anything. Go get it done so you're not late. They will fine you. Well, I've seen guys take that test, and we had some time in between, like say you have a meeting off, walk right out there in the car, get light, fire it up.
You're kidding me.
Because they're not. But Austin, they won't test you again.
You're clear, but
you're clear to the all season, right? So,
man,
so you can partake, and I think the rules are real lax. I talk about or Aaron Rodgers talked about it. The NFLPA negotiations, the leadership was let the current and past and future former players down by making concessions, essentially being able to get fined less to smoke weed to give up benefits, which is the dumbest thing ever. So, but this is the time where dumb things happen. You just want to stay, low profile and continue to work. But, like everything, it's just a matter of numbers. There will be a guy or two that gets busted for partaking.
Which comes down, I think, in a lot of ways to discipline, right?
Yeah.
Not just motivation. Comes down to, I think, something you talked about quite a bit yesterday, accountability.
Yeah.
Like you said, football is the only sport, team sport that you can't just practice, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you can do bags and, you can lift and all that sort of stuff on your own. But how do you get better at football? Hitting someone, being in combat with someone. And there's a reason I wasn't very good at football. I was not willing to do all that or very good at it. You can always go shoot baskets by yourself. Yeah. You can always go hit off a tee or, a pitching machine or whatever. You can find a wall, for tennis, et cetera, et cetera. But there's something about football, the accountability, the complete and utter lack of ability to do anything yourself that I think having an accountability partner or, an off-season training group and checking in on each other. If you do go back home, hey, how's your workout today? Hey, how's your family treating you? That sort of thing. And just checking in with each other so in the back of your head, oh, yeah, I am accountable to other people, not just my momentary self.
One of the things I used to try, I was in Houston. In Buffalo, everybody kind of we hit the road, right? And so I was back home. I had a good friend group, and so that wasn't anything I was ever doing. And anybody that did it, they never, had it around me. So, but when we were in Houston, or when I was in Houston, it was great because everybody wanted to live in Houston. The weather's great. Where else are you going to go for better weather? You can travel anywhere, so that's great. I remember, and the reason why I'm thinking about it, I was watching this, I think it was a TikTok about the Arizona Cardinals when they introductory press conference with LaFleur, and he was talking about being at a place that everybody wants to live at, and it's going to help their off-season training. And then also, they have a lot of places where guys can go train in Phoenix. I trained in Phoenix for a little while. So if you could get to somewhere where you're training guys, you're meeting there, that's your accountability there. Because guys will I'm going to tell you this about the offseason, no matter – everybody wants – the thing about the NFL, everybody wants the best for everybody. Everybody wants to make sure you get through the season healthy. They want everybody to get paid. And they also know that what the great thing about football players, at least most of them, right, that you're going to hold each other accountable for some of your actions. For some of your actions, whether they're obviously the bad ones, to make sure you get tightened up. They don't want you to lose any money. And so it's a really a great brotherhood. So hopefully, again, high school players too. You got a lot of time on your hand. Football's coming down the pipe. College players, pro players. This is the time where you need to strive and not survive. And then more importantly, do not be a dummy. I've done it. I've done dumb things. Something I was fortunate enough not getting caught. Talking to you from experience, and
listen to Uncle Jay.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, I've seen it. And to be honest with you, at this time in June, I'd be honest with you, that's probably where I made a lot of strides, especially early in my career at Nebraska. I feel that I separated myself that redshirt year when I started on 95 from the guys that were trying to
move up with you, take your spot. Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I wasn't a solidified starter. Like I hadn't started yet.
Right.
So that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's an example of where guys can really, distance themselves or eat up that distance. I always say, I guess analogy is this, when they run the 200,
yeah,
when they have like some of like those cameras or, those high tech that are with them, when you see guys that eating up the corner,
right.
Well, this is it. Or
here's the corner.
Yeah. You can eat it up. And so and then also for coaches too. I mean, this is where you got to get your mind right, because you're going to have competitive stamina or have to have competitive stamina in order to finish the season.
What is competitive stamina to you? What does that look like in practice? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, I'm big on intention. Look, every day, I will tell you a funny story. My best week of practice in the pros was probably my worst game. My best week of preparation.
Okay.
I'm talking about.
You were really ready for those 2 flags.
Oh, that game. That's my second worst game. Okay. I'm talking about my production game.
Okay.
And that could be one of them. That was more mentally. Okay. But, like I hit my marks in the weights. I felt like I knew the game plan. You know what I mean? In practice, I was, making the plays. Get out there, and it wasn't that I was like I missed a whole bunch of tackles. The flow wasn't never there, right? But then there were some weeks where, but I had every intention, right? So I was able to recover. So then I went back and just kind of was able to go back to work, right? But then I had, a week where my intention to, we had a very confusing game plan in.
Thanks, Wade.
It was actually Vic Fangio.
Yeah, thanks, Vic.
It was actually literally. We get our new game plan. It was like as thick almost as the regular defense that it was, and we were trying anything and everything on it against the Sun. And my intention was there. I put in more time, but the practice was horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But my intention was right. But then the game worked out. So that happens every other week, maybe, or it just happens. You might be rolling for 3 or 4 weeks. A down week, you got to roll back. That's competitive stamina. Showing up every day with the right intention, not letting it, don't get too high, don't get too low, but your preparation and your mindset doesn't change. That's where I think teams lose it because, again, how do you deal with success? How do you deal with a little adversity? They're both the same. They're just massaged different. How do you handle them telling you you've arrived and you're potentially, thank you, look at this. Your brother gonna be grubbing.
Oh yeah. So crack into that on air. Let the people see. I'm kidding. Keep it warm. Keep it fresh.
I got lemon pepper.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Pepper step.
There you go. Good job, Sweet Lou.
Right. So the thing is, but you see teams get a little bit of kudos or whatever, and then they just kind of relax on their work. Then you see all of a sudden now we have to.
And I think it's tough too with competitive stamina, with nothing being promised, right? I mean, you can say all the right things for you, just stay the course, make your tweaks, but don't do wholesale changes and all that. But it goes back to you might not see the dividends, but like if you have the more good weeks you have of preparation of intention, the more good days you're going to have on the field.
Here's an example. Sometimes, and we'll talk about high school basketball because I assume me and you're going to be doing some high school basketball state championships, right?
Get ready.
There was a team a year or two ago, maybe 3 years ago, where they had a good regular season. So by the point system, when they went in the playoffs, when they hosted a district, you probably could look at it like, okay, we've done enough. We, and the number one team ain't going to lose. Well, then it was pure chaos. Well, then your preparation for a team that you should have beat was a little lacking. Well, then you lost. Now you're at the crib. That's competitive stamina. No, I don't care what anybody else does. We will handle our business, and everybody else has to deal with it after. That's a little bit of it. You see sometimes where you see teams. The year that Philly was 10-1.
Yeah.
And then they kind of sputtered down the end. That's competitive stamina. It was probably like a little bit internal turmoil, right? But
that factors into it, right? If there is turmoil, if there is drama, you probably have to use up more of that competitive stamina just to get through that, to get back to the baseline. Focus. That's a part of it.
It takes away from the focus. In the focus, everybody thinks the turmoil is negative. It could be when you do something positive, because then you spend the whole next week after a big win or big wins, or you have a good record at some point in time, living in the past, and they say, we got a game. And
crap, I got to focus on this team now.
And then I don't play as well. Well, then that's the what? Pain of discipline versus pain of regret. We're up against the clock. We got a winner coming up next segment.
Three of them.
Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Three lucky people are about to get 5 wings for a week for the rest of the year, right?
One person gets the wings.
And then
one
the two
person gets
jerseys,
the
the
Jerry
jerseys.
Taggy jersey. One gets the DPE jersey.
I got you. They lucky, man. I don't know which one I'd want more because Jerry Taggy was a dude, too.
Certified.
Anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
When your business is ready for its next move, I'm here to help make it happen. I'm Corey Vandeweghe, Commercial Loan Officer at Midwest Bank on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Lincoln is full of bold ideas and hardworking business owners, and I'm proud to support the people driving that progress. Whether you're launching something new or investing in growth, I'll work with you to find lending solutions that move your business forward. Swing in anytime. I'd love to hear what you're building. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish back shelf bar, enjoy a healthy, family-friendly menu, and catch all your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets, located on 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Bonsall Pool & Spa is turning 75, and you're getting the presents. Right now, we're counting down to our Big Diamond Anniversary Bash on July 11th with massive weekly doorbuster sales. Stop in every Monday for 75% off your favorite premium BioGuard water care products. Plus, every $75 you spend starting today enters you to win a $7,500 premium in-home sauna. Get your pool ready for summer and start winning today at Bonsall Pool & Spa, 33rd and Nebraska Parkway in Lincoln. Bonsall Pool & Spa, every day made better.
There's a jalapeno heat wave rolling through Amigos, and honestly, we're here for it. The new crisp jalapeno popper burrito is stuffed with bold jalapeno cream cheese filling for a smooth, spicy heat in every crispy bite. And the new jalapeno popper Frenchies are a perfect fiery twist on the classic fave. This summer, the heat index is officially set by Amigos, and it's a jalapeno heat wave. Try the newest bold, fresh flavors at Amigos. Hey USA, it's your 250th birthday, and Amigos brings the party. The Yankee Burrito is back, and what's more American than a hot dog? In a crispy tortilla. This summer, the All-American Twist is back too, for just $3.99. There's festive layers of red slushy, white soft serve, and blue slushy with whipped cream and a cherry on top. Celebrate freedom, flavor, and fun in every bite with a Yankee Burrito and All-American Twist, only at Amigos.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. Koppel is proud to be the highest rated GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln areas based on Google reviews. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new Silverado and Sierra 1500 models. But hurry, the 0% financing offer won't last long. Visit us in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, owner of A1 Automotive. I want to personally thank you, our customers, for trusting us with your vehicle repair needs. Your support allows us to do what we love, serving people through quality automotive repair. If you're looking for a repair shop that values relationships as much as repairs, we'd love the opportunity to earn your trust. We have 2 locations here in Lincoln, 1117 L Street, 5110 State Hill Drive, and our newest location in Seward, Nebraska, 408 Main Street. Come see us, visit us online at a1autolincoln.com.
Greens Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Greens Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Quick segment here, but this is actually the prize time of Old School on a Friday. Once again, we're live in effect out here at 68th and O Street at Buffalo Wings and Rings Customer Appreciation Day, and 3 customers or listeners are going to come up like the mob. One is going to get a Jerry Taggy jersey. One's going to get a DPE jersey, both of them signed. And one is going to get 5 wings per week for the rest of the year.
For a full year, not just the rest of the year.
For a full year, excuse me.
52 weeks. 52 weeks.
Right from day start, man. That's like some residual income, but residual lemon pepper wings. I just got mine as well. But without further ado, Austin, you want to do the first one?
Okay, fine. I'll do the first one. Let's do a jersey for this one. Let's go and do a jersey. Taggy or DeMornay?
Let's do Taggy.
Okay. Jerry Taggy jersey. Dan Neal. Dan Neal, you are the winner of the DP or the Taggy jersey. Taggy jersey for Dan Neal. All right, I'm going to write that down. So, Dan, you will be contacted shortly.
Hopefully it's not the Dan Neal that used to play at the University of Texas and the Denver Broncos, because you want to know why? He cut me one time when the play was over from behind. Then I commenced to drop kicking him in his face. Now, I will tell you.
Like you didn't deserve it, though.
Let me tell you, it cost me a little bit more than 5 wings per week for a year.
But was it worth it?
It was worth it.
Okay.
And you know what? I was better than Mike Vanderjack at kicking field goals. So I'll do the next one.
All right.
We'll do the DPE jersey. Right? We'll do that one
Let's
next.
do the DPE jersey.
Let's do that one.
Our very own DeMornay Personnel.
DeMornay Personnel. Nolan M. He doesn't have a last name.
That's
Nolan
all right.
M wins the DPE jersey.
DPE jersey. All right. You got to do the wings. I'm not responsible for that. You know, I'd love to make someone's day, but it means more coming from you. So
fumble. Fumble. Oh, it's like tripping on the 30-yard line against Oklahoma.
That never happened. I have it on good authority.
That one has a scrunchie up. I don't know who this is. Let's see who wants this. John A. John A., you win 5 wings every week for 52 weeks for the rest of the year. Congrats to Dan, not the Dan Neal, Nolan M., and John A.
How about that?
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening.
We'll be contacting them, right?
Yes, we will get everything in order and contact our 3 winners.
That's I don't know which one. I know Jerry Taggy and DPE were cold-blooded players, so it's always good to get those type of jerseys for those guys signed, obviously authentically signed.
But it's lemon pepper.
I know,
but it's Korean style. But it's garlic parm. But it's buffalo. But it's barbecue. But it's southern fried.
Do you know how cool I would feel every week? What you eating for dinner? No, I'm gonna go get my wings. What
are you doing? Because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you want? I'll be frequented over here at 68th and O Street. We want to thanks everybody that came in and stopped by, dapped us up. We got plenty of people that came in. I got a little Austin Oerman over there with his family as well. I want to thank everybody at Buffalo Wings and Rings, obviously, for their continued support. We do some great things out here with March Madness and stuff like that as well. It's Customer Appreciation Day. It's still going on the rest of the night, and also out there at 40th and Old Cheney, or 40th and Old Cheney. We're at 68th and Oak Street right now. Let me get that right. Old school. This was the fastest 3 hours all week.
Zoom was by.
Yeah, it was
the
great,
smell of the
man.
wings carrying us through.
Just the smell of the wings. Great conversation. You feel it. It's starting to become football time, which gets more excited. The fans are excited. We're excited. But we appreciate you guys listening. From my man, Austin Oerman, Jay Foreman, Old School. We'll holler at you next week.